Witness #1 ranked Colorado in its bid for a national championship. Against 5th-rated Notre Dame, the Irish have won 8 titles, more than any collegiate football. As well. We'll see Ralphie, their famed mascot, in a moment. First, we go to our anchor man on this Championship Tuesday, Bob Costas.
Here once again, everybody. We'll dispense with most of the bowl scores from earlier today because only 2 really matter when we talk about the national championship picture, which has crystallized considerably. As the day began, Miami had a shot if things fell into place. So too did Notre Dame. But realistically, the Irish and the Hurricanes can only vie for #2 now, or possibly #3. It's Colorado and Georgia Tech, despite the fact that Miami clobbered Texas today by a score of 46-3 in the Cotton Bowl, with Craig Erickson throwing for 272 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's superseded by the fact that in the Florida Citrus Bowl, the 2nd-ranked Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech defeated the Nebraska Cornhuskers and handily 45-21. Now, earlier today, Georgia Tech coach Bobby Ross and Miami coach Dennis Erickson addressed their team's title possibilities in light of today's results.
I feel like we deserve it right now, to be very honest with you. I'm not going to gloat over it or wave a flag for it or anything of that nature, but, you know, I mean, I think we've done what we had to do. I think the strength of our conference is attested by the fact, I don't know, didn't Clemson win decidedly over Illinois? You know, and I think that a lot of people have been underrating our conference a lot of the time. I'm not going to go out and wave a flag over it, but, I mean, we are the only undefeated football team in the country, and we did win.
Today we played extremely well. Probably we're the best team in the country, but we lost 2 games, and we made our own bed, and we're going to have to sleep in it now. So who knows what's going to happen. It's up to the voters, but I'm just real happy with how we played today.
I spoke with Dennis Erickson earlier. He told me that while he thinks it's very possible his team at this point in the season could beat any team in the country, he sees no practical way they can wind up #1. Remember, the question here is not who would win a tournament, not which team has the strongest overall personnel or would be favored by the odds makers on a neutral field. It's precedent. And based on precedent, the way national championships have been awarded in the past, realistically, only 2 teams have a shot now, Georgia Tech and Colorado. Although it appears that this season's championship is now out of Notre Dame's reach, a good deal of national attention remains focused on the Irish. Coach Lou Holtz continues to deal with rumors about his pro-coaching aspirations, along with the pending NCAA investigation into his actions while coaching at the University of Minnesota. Here's Holtz.
I can't go into each and every allegation at the present time, but on February 2nd, I will have the opportunity to do that. I can just tell you this, I can look in the mirror and I'm very comfortable with what I've done, and go talk to anybody that has ever coached for me over the 21 years as head coach, or most people have played for me. And I just say that, hey, I am comfortable when I look in the mirror, and I'm comfortable being the head football coach at the University of Notre Dame.
Holtz admitted this weekend that he's becoming distracted by the off-the-field stories involving him. Speculation also surrounds Notre Dame junior Rocket Ismail, who lately has seemed less adamant about his previous statement that he plans to bypass the NFL draft and stay in school for his senior year.
Well, I'm not really dwelling on that right now. I'm just trying to focus on the game, and after everything is over, then, you know, I'll take it from there. But as of this point, I'm not thinking about anything like that.
You have not made a definite decision either way?
All right, Will McDonough joins us now. Will, your sources in the NFL now believe that the Rocket will come out?
Bob, I think if the agents around the National Football League and the big scouts in the league had a bet on it right now, they bet you that Ismail will come into the draft
assuming for a moment that he wanted to leave Notre Dame, are there any real opportunities for him now in the NFL?
I've kept in touch with all the teams in the league who are looking for a head coach, and I've never heard his name mentioned. So I think at present there are no jobs for Lou Holtz in the NFL.
You think he'll come back with the Irish?
I think he will. I think this is where he's going to coach. People talked about Minnesota, but I don't think he's going to have a job there either.
All right, well, the season hasn't been free of controversy for top-ranked Colorado either. The dominant theme involves the Buffalo's tainted win over Missouri in the now infamous 5th down game. Missouri led by 4 as Colorado had a first down at the 3. Quarterback Charles Johnson spiked the ball to stop the clock. On 2nd down, Eric Bieniemy took it to the 1, and Colorado called its last timeout with 18 seconds left. At this point, the officials failed to change the down marker to 3rd down, and it still read 2nd down as Bieniemy went over the top and got stuffed. Thinking it was now only 3rd down, Johnson grounded the ball to stop the clock with 2 seconds to go. Finally, on what was really 5th down, Johnson took it himself and just got across the goal line, although Missouri argued he hadn't made it. And Colorado had a 33-31 victory, a controversial win.
I don't have anything to apologize for. We didn't do anything wrong. We didn't, have any control over the down markers. We operated within the strategy that was situation that we were presented with.
All right, so the stage has been set. The Colorado Buffaloes are #1. It's in their hands. If they win tonight against Notre Dame, the national championship is theirs. To call it, Dick Enberg and Bill Walsh. Dick.
All right, Bob, and with it, Ralphie, the Colorado mascot, makes his appearance, and here come the Buffaloes, the Big 8 champions. Appears the Irish gather. As they were adorned last year, the Irish will be in white, Colorado in black, and here comes Notre Dame, ranked number 5. Hello, everyone. On the first day of every year, it's a time for reflection and reassessment, resolve, and also a time to think for hopeful thoughts. And with that spirit in mind, we say to all you men and women in Saudi Arabia watching tomorrow morning, as time would be, safeful and a hopeful return from your duties. And in the spirit of football, finally resolving who is #1. Colorado was #1. They had the national title in their pocket last year at this time, Bill Walsh, but Notre Dame spoiled their fun impressively, 21-6. How is Colorado different this season?
Well, they're much different this season. They've come from behind 6 times to win. A year ago, they were putting in their 3rd and 4th stringers in the second half. Following that debacle, the first half of real problems they had with Notre Dame, they've made a real effort to come back, and they have this year.
Their coach, Bill Mccartney, after the Orange Bowl loss last year, immediately said, I am going to improve my passing game.
Well, they've improved it. They've thrown twice as much, about twice as much yardage. It's been an effective weapon, but they still throw the ball. They don't pass it. I'd hate to think they're going to have to win it with their passing game.
Darian Hagan will be on the throwing end, and keep your eye on number 9, Mike Pritchard. His teammates voted him the most valuable player on this team, with a man Bieniemy who finished 3rd in the Heisman Award. He averaged over 26 yards a catch. But the bad news for Colorado, Pritchard fractured his left hand in practice a week ago. He has a soft cast on that hand. As we watched him in practice this week, he did handle the ball remarkably well.
I don't think there's a lot of pain involved, not even a lot of swelling. Dick, I don't think that's a factor, but I do think there is a factor. Both coaches are privately, confidentially talking to us about winning this game in the 4th quarter, running the other people out of gas, dominating physically. They both think that's what they're going to do, and they're not thinking about big plays, which to me will make the difference.
Well, you can bet every fan here in the Orange Bowl, and certainly the coaches on both sides, will keep their eyes on number 25, the Rocket Ismail. How do you defense this speedy wide receiver running back?
Well, you really don't. You just want everyone to understand when he has the ball, they better all chase him and take the right angle, because this could very well be the quickest man ever to play the game.
Have you seen any faster?
I don't think, maybe in 100 meters, but on the football field, functional speed, this is the fastest guy that's ever been out there.
Tim Brown, who won the Heisman for Notre Dame, told us a week ago, he said, standing on the sidelines of the Southern California game, so that's the fastest man I've ever seen. He only happens to be on one of the fastest teams in all of the NFL. Bill Mccartney. 15-year contract for Mccartney. Some say the longest in any collegiate sport. But his teams do not play well in the grass, and they've lost 7 in a row in bowl games. In contrast to Mccartney, Lou Holtz is working without a contract, although he has been offered a 5-year deal 1 year ago by Notre Dame. There's Holtz. Has a knack for coming up with big performances in big games. Notre Dame probably realizing with the events of the day, they can't win the national championship, just as they did not last year, but came so close. But they certainly can start 1991 with an impressive win. And Colorado has won the toss and will receive. Now, we understand now that Notre Dame did win the toss, but elected. They deferred to the second half. Lou Holtz wants his defense on the field first.
The problem would be for Colorado is kicking off to Ismail. They have a plan. We can show you if and when they do kick off, the second half at least, how they'll try to stop it. But that's the key. Right now, Colorado's going to have the ball.
With Pritchard injured, it's McClellan and Johnson back. Dave McClellan, a senior. He leads the nation in punt returns, and he's in the open. Finally gathered at the 35. Tackled by John Covington.
Number 12.
Darian Hagan had the one brilliant moment a year ago on that 39-yard sprint down the right side for the only Colorado touchdown. And they're calling the Buffaloes to the sidelines of Mccartney as we look at the starting offensive line. Huge line. Solomon, two-time All-America Joe Garden, Jay Lewinberg, Brian Campbell, and Mark Vanderpool. The backfield of Hagan, the junior, George Hemingway. He was suspended from the team a year ago. It figured in a big play during the course of the game. Michael Simmons is the wingback. And it is Pritchard and Bieniemy behind Hagan. Simmons in motion, the wingback. From the 35, Hagan reverse to Pritchard, breaks a tackle, has blockers. It's set up to the 50, a gain of 15 before Devon McDonald can make the stop.
A beautiful job, beautiful play call. Almost got trapped. Hagan almost got trapped as he came down that line, but he sold the option play. Now the pitch itself was a beautiful job by Hagan to get rid of the ball, but the blocking is set up beautifully along that sideline. Vanderpool makes a fine block. Everybody gets into play. Very, very well done.
Chris Zorich, the All-American nose tackle for Notre Dame, was the man who had Hagan as he pitched back to Pritchard. Ball right on the 50. Hagan earns a tough 2. Zorich was out there to help out fellow All-America Michael Stonebreaker. Willie Clark, defensive back as well. Here's the defense for the Irish. The front three of Williams, Zorich, the All-America, and Dahl. Polkowski, All-America, Stonebreaker. DeBose, underrated Andre Jones are the linebackers. Todd Light, an All-America at one corner. He'll be on Pritchard a lot. Rod Smith the other. Greg Davis and Willie Clark are in the secondary. A much maligned secondary, the Achilles heel of this Notre Dame team that allowed too many points and too many yards passing. And Hagan is looking for one. And he drops it in short, looking for Pritchard. The tight end, Sean Brown, was in the same area.
Excellent pass protection, and the fake itself was good. But as far as the pass itself, not very good. Now watch the pass protection. They pull a guard. Looks very, very good. A good throwing lane, which they worry about with Hagan all the time he needs, but the ball bounces there. You see the crossing pattern. It's open, but that zone defense from Notre Dame makes it very tough to get the ball between.
So third down and a long 8, almost 9. Hagan on the option. Reverses. And is close to a first down as he spins to the 40. Demetrius DeBose, number 31, the tackler.
I don't think he realized how close he was for the first down because he could have fallen in to get that extra yard. He just misses it by inches.
Bill Mccartney with a big choice. What does he do?
Oh, he's going to punt, Dick, I'm sure, because he now has field position. He can put the pressure on Notre Dame, no question about it. Punting that ball inside the 10-yard line would be, if he could have scripted the game, this is what he would have wanted.
Tom Ruin is the punter. The Irish do not put a return man back. Ruin bobbles the ball, and there goes field position. The Irish at the 48 of Colorado. George Williams was the first man in. Ruins the start for Colorado, just as they had field goal problems last year.
It looks as though he simply took his eye off the ball. He was looking up the field. I'm sure he spotted no safety. He was going to make the perfect punt. Took his eye off the ball. Now, here we go again. Let's just hope that Colorado doesn't self-destruct the same kind of problems they had a year ago.
Well, Ruin, who averages 40 yards plus, that's a 40-yard mistake or more. And here comes the sophomore Rick Mirer looking for the rocket. Intercepted. George Thomas. Greg Thomas out of bounds as Notre Dame turns it right back. Derek Brown made the tackle inside Notre Dame territory.
It was the pressure on Mirer that did that. He had pressure as he's trying to fake and then sprint to the outside. But look at the pressure by Alfred Williams coming up the field. Then it's a routine interception by somebody because the ball's up for grabs.
23 yards for Thomas on the return. Thomas, a junior from Rancho Palos Verdes, California. He had 2 interceptions during the regular year. And Alfred Williams, the man who made the play, forcing Mirer to throw through the Giants 6'6" linebacker who was the Butkus Award winner this year as the top linebacker in the country.
Well, for all the preparation and all the sitting around today, what agony to sit and wait for a night game for the national championship, to sit and wait and then to have things go to pieces in a sense for both clubs. I think it's just plain pressure on both these clubs, and you'd have to assume they'll settle down within the next 4 or 5 minutes.
Bryant Young and Eric Jones, the backup defensive linemen, are in. Andre Jones and Eric Jones. Reverse, then a pitch back to Hagan. They're looking deep for Rico Smith. Passes short and almost intercepted as the Irish weren't fooled a bit. 26 Davis and number 1 Todd Light were there.
Well, the old triple pass, the reverse, and then the pitch back. 3 people handle the ball before it's thrown. That's where they get in a little bit of trouble. Everything looks fine here, but now by the time the ball's thrown, Notre Dame has recovered. You see people down the field all congregating on the ball as it gets there. Just about 4 or 5 yards late as far as the throw itself is concerned. Well, they're shooting the works, but sooner or later, both teams have to settle down and block each other and decide who's going to win it.
So it's 2nd down and 10 from the Irish 49. Hagan underneath. Short yardage. It goes to Pritchard to the 43, a gain of about 6.
Expect Hagan to run with that ball when he does drop back. At least half the time, he's going to explode up the field and make a play. In this case, they throw an outlet pass against the zone. Pritchard coming into the middle, really without much running room after he caught it. But the key threat there, other than Pritchard, is for Hagan to run with the ball when we see him drop back. And that's the plan. And that's the Colorado coaches are aware of it, certainly. But the Notre Dame coaches know they have to play a zone defense to get Hagan if he does run with it.
It's Hagan behind Hemingway, and he gets nowhere. Then he tries to toss back, and it's recovered, I believe, by Notre Dame. Or are they going to call that a forward pass, and therefore incomplete? George Williams, the man in the thick of the Colorado plan.
Can you see how anxious both these teams are? Now, this pitch was so ill-conceived in a sense. Now, he's done this before. Championship game, he just throws that ball up, hoping something will happen.
Since he had not passed the line of scrimmage, it was a forward pass. Had he been another yard and a half downfield, it would have been a fumble. And Mccartney sends in Ruin again, and there's Rocket Ismails, perched at the 10.
Colorado will settle for a 30-yard punt here. They don't want Ismail with this ball running.
Very high toward the corner, and it hugs the sidelines and finally hits out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Timeout. They played 3.5 minutes. Colorado, Notre Dame, no score.
A punt of 30 yards. First and 10 Irish.
Any ideas?
When it comes to innovative thinking, business is always searching for the better way. But for innovative shipping, they already have the best way.
Super Tracker. It helps tell you where your package is at any moment, anywhere around the world.
That's a great idea.
Federal Express, absolutely, positively the best in the business.
I thought we were going to the movies. Hey, I'm ready. You can't go to the theater dressed like that.
You can if you own it.
Oh, it's the Magnavox Projection TV.
My very own movie theater.
The Magnavox enhanced video system really makes it sharp and clear.
Just like the movies.
And with the JBL system, you can almost feel the Dolby surround sound. Just like the movies. This could be one of the smartest ideas you've ever had.
Yeah. I thought the other one was pretty good, too.
Magnavox. Smart choice. Very smart.
No matter where you look, there's Mazda. We're introducing new products like the Miata, setting new sales records, winning the respect of the automotive press, and winning awards for both quality and customer satisfaction. But most important, we're making thousands of people feel just right.
Welcome back. The battle for the national championship. #1 Colorado, #5 Notre Dame. With us is O.J. Simpson.
Well, you know, Dick, I spent the day with the Notre Dame team, and I've never been around a more cocky, loose group in my life for any game. I mean, a preseason game or a high school game. They feel very confident that Colorado cannot throw the ball on them and that they can stop them from running the ball. Chris Zorich, the Lombardi Award-winning nose tackle, said that his right knee that he hurt 5 weeks ago is about 80%, but he's 100% ready for this game. A confident group on this side of the field, Bob.
Okay, Juice, I've been with Colorado all day, and on their chalkboard in the locker room before the game, a very simple phrase: no doubts. This team believes this year they can win the national championship, when last year they are willing to admit that they were a little starry-eyed. Dick, this team is going to play hard to the end. I don't know if they'll win, but they'll play hard to the end.
Thank you, gentlemen, and we'll be visiting from the sidelines from O.J. and Bob during the course of this game as Notre Dame takes over. They marked it at the 13-yard line. Bruins punt. They'll take that all day, and the Rocket unable to handle it as he kicked to the sideline. To give us inside to Tony Brooks, who is a surprise starter for Rodney Culver, as Lou Holtz gives his senior running back a start. There's the blockers: McGuire, Ryan, Helt, Jurkovic, and Hall. Culver comes in now. Meyer, the quarterback. Brooks and Waters start, but Rodney Culver, the big fast fullback, is now entering that huddle with Rocket Ismail and Tony Smith, the wideouts, and Derek Brown, a talented junior tight end. Meyer, a sophomore from Goshen, Indiana, grew up just 25 miles from the Notre Dame campus. Rocket. And they corral him at the 23-yard line.
Rocky, please smile.
They're putting a lot of pressure on the defense by getting that ball out short to Rocket to see if he can make people miss, and he couldn't quite get it done that time.
Elder, Steed, and Howe, the front three. Steed and Howe both all Big A. All-America Alfred Williams. Greg Beekert leads in tackles. Chad Brown, a sophomore, for the injured Terry Johnson. Canavis McGee, he too from Houston, along with Williams. McLuhan and Figures at the corners. James and Thomas. It's a very big back four for Colorado.
They're all there to stop Nebraska and Oklahoma from running the ball. So it'll be interesting to see if Ismail gets the ball down the field, if they can stay close to him or even have a chance at catching him.
First down, Notre Dame. Its initial first down of the game.
Well, here's a look at a quick screen, as you call it, with a flanker outside to make a block. Ismail having some running room, but when he stops to make people miss, the pursuit gets to him. And that's what they've drummed into that Colorado team. Keep going, don't let up, don't assume someone else is going to make the tackle.
Ismail far right. And the give inside to Ricky Waters. And Waters, who started very slowly this year, did not have any big rushing games, too much dancing and not enough straight-ahead power, learned his lesson the final 3 games of the year. He came on strong. Well, there's a look at it. First 8 games averaged 3.5, only 230 yards. And in the last 3 games against Tennessee, Penn State, and Southern Cal, 3 worthy opponents. Look at those numbers.
Irish are going to operate from split backs throughout most of the afternoon or evening, and we can talk to you about that.
Quick toss to Brooks. close to the 30-yard line, a couple yards shy of a first down. Marcellus Earthquake Elder made the tackle, number 97.
The split back formation, they believe that they can get to the line of scrimmage quicker, run the option quicker, and block Williams quicker. So what they need to do is put the pressure on that Colorado defense much more quickly than your basic I formation, where the tailback would be 7 yards deep and taking much more time to finally get to the line of scrimmage.
On 3rd and 2, Tony Smith wide to the left with Rocket in the slot, and Ricky Waters is slotted on the right side. Meyer over the middle to the tight end, Derek Brown, and he has a first down at the 41-yard line. Coming up from the secondary, Dion Figures made a big hit.
Derek Brown, one of the real bright prospects. You know, they talk about Ismael going out this year into the NFL draft. Watch out for Derek Brown to do it, because many people feel he's the finest tight end in collegiate football right now, only being a junior.
He's playing in front of the home folks, has a big crowd here to cheer him on from Merritt Island, Florida. The Irish from their 13, now first down at their 41. Mirer on the roll. Complete. Ismael has his first catch of the day. Dave McClellan, the defender.
Dave McClellan.
Make that 2 catches now for Ismael.
McClellan, Dick, is going to be stuck with Ismael the entire evening. He's set at wide field, and Ismael is going to wide field. So McClellan, a fine collegiate defensive back, is going to be stuck with this guy one-on-one out there. Basically a zone defense, but still having to account for him.
Gain of 9 on the play. Meyer looking deep. Throws long for Ismael. No one there except McClellan. As Ismael was making a corner move, and Meyer was thinking straight down the middle.
After all the practice, and believe me, they prepare for each other. They know each other like a book. They still have a miscue. Now Ismael is going to go to the post and break to the corner, and McClellan's in his own defense, but the ball is thrown inside. So there was just a mistake on one part or the other. But even after all this preparation, that shows what nerves can play on an athlete. You get into something this big in your life, it's so difficult to think clearly.
Ismael out on 3rd and 1. Irv Smith, the second tight end, is in. They give to Rodney Culver, and he bowls to a first down at the Colorado 47. Joel Steed from Denver, Colorado, made the tackle. And the final now from the Fiesta Bowl, the Cardinals of Louisville impressively defeating the Alabama Crimson Tide 34-7. The Rose Bowl now in the 4th quarter, and Washington and Iowa in a scoring fest. About a minute left, and it appears the Huskies will give the Pac-10 another victory over the Big Ten. Sean Davis, a junior from Tulsa. Davis, who had 8 catches during the course of the year.
Colorado, Dick, has had a lot of people throw on them, averaging about 38 passes a game against them. And yet they still can't cope with some of these kinds of passes because they don't get the pressure on the passer as they should, and they play a soft zone. So look for Notre Dame. Just if these kinds of things are working, Notre Dame will just stay with them.
They're now 4 for 6. 33 yards, 1 interception. We're in the first quarter, no score, 8 minutes to go in the first period. And they drive inside to Waters for short yardage. Greg Biekert led the defensive charge. It'll be close to a first down. Nope, they're going to be shy about 1.5 yards.
Thus far, they've run just inside of Williams most of the time and gotten 4 and 5 yards. So I'm sure that the Notre Dame coaches upstairs are sort of booking those kind of plays. At some point, they're going to start just emphasizing those. But in the meantime, as long as they can complete passes as they are, they're going to make yardage. They're going to get big chunks of yardage.
3rd down, a short 2. The give inside to Culver. Make it Tony Brooks, who blasts in there for the first down. Brooks, a senior from Tulsa, Oklahoma, who sat out last year, went to Holy Cross Junior College. After being suspended by the university, he showed his desire to graduate from Notre Dame, paid his own expenses, earned the right to return this summer, and he and his brother form a Tulsa-Brooks combination, and Tony this year with 451 yards. 6 touchdowns. Determined march by Myra, his Irish, from the 13 to a first down at the Culver by Gary Howe, number 95, and Canavis McGee, 96.
Canavis McGee, Derek Williams, these guys are outstanding athletes with great professional careers. But look at the cat-like ability here. He starts in, plays the quarterback, then goes out and just sets on that pitch man and just moves right with him. Does a beautiful job, and Culver's one of the quickest athletes on that Notre Dame team.
First time on this drive, Notre Dame not making a big play on first down. So on 2nd and 10, Mirer on the roll. It goes long. Incomplete for Sean Davis, number 17. Ball covered by Dave McCloughan.
McCloughan, it was an out-and-up pattern. McCloughan didn't even bite. He just turned and ran right with it. He reminds me a lot of a guy named Kent McCloughan, who played for the Oakland Raiders when I was on that coaching staff. His dad, Kent McCloughan, was an All-Pro, and this guy, I'm sure, will be finally an NFL player.
It leads the nation in punt returns with an average of over 16. He had 4 interceptions this year.
McCloughan has excellent speed, but a long strider, very deceiving.
3rd down 10. Mirer, plenty of time again. Oh, he missed an open man. Tony Brooks down the middle. Greg Biekert was the closest defender. And the Irish look at 4th and 10, and on comes
4th and 11 upcoming.
A fine dual-purpose kicker, Craig Hendrick, not only averaging over 44 yards upon make it. Jim Sexton will come in here because Sexton is the pooch punter, the short punter, and they use Hendrick when they really need distance. Sexton is a senior from South Bend. His father's with the university as a vice president of university relations.
Waiting deep for Colorado, Dave McCloughan.
Dave McCloughan back at the 10. Well covered. The Irish down at the 3-yard line. Well done by Sexton. We have a timeout with 5:55 remaining in the opening period.
It's called Pizza Hut? Yeah. It's a good thing they deliver.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if Pizza Hut didn't deliver, I don't know who would call.
Breaking old habits, new routine, automatic dial, a whole new scene. Knew I always wanted, knew I always would. Change for the better, change for good. Now that you deliver, I don't have to guess. 'Cause the change for the better, change for the better.
Think about it. When you can have Pizza Hut delivered, why call for anything less?
Change is coming, it's understood. Happening all over my neighborhood. I'm never gonna call for anything less. 'Cause I'm changed for the better, change for the better. Pizza Hut delivery, making it great.
Well, back to work. Yep.
Bit by bit, putting it together. Piece by piece, the way to make an ideal work.
Behind every accomplishment is a document that bridges the gap between what can be and what will be.
Every moment's contribution, every detail plays a part. Putting it together.
Putting together documents that can change the world. Faxing, scanning, copying, printing. Xerox, the document company.
The 1991 Federal Express Orange Bowl is brought to you by Federal Express. Absolutely, positively the best in the business. By Ultra Slim Fast, a delicious, healthy way to lose weight. By Magnavox, smart choices for smart people. Magnavox, smart, very smart. And by Mazda Cars and Trucks. Mazda, it just feels right.
Under a full moon in southern Florida, the Colorado Buffaloes take over at their own 3-yard line. Bieniemy, the tailback. And he's tackled at the 5-yard line.
Eric Bieniemy, the ball carrier.
Greg Davis from the safety spot came up and made a hit. And that's what they're going to have to do. Clark and Davis both, those safeties in the middle, are big guys, they're strong guys. They're going to have to come up and make a big shot into the middle. This is a look at it. You'll see a man come forward right here and get to Bieniemy right here, and that's what it's going to take to eliminate that big play. And watch him come forward right into the hole, and that's what eliminates the kind of plays that Colorado's going to need to win it, the 30 and 40-yard games.
Breaks one tackle and gets out to the 8-yard line. Michael Stonebreaker trying to put the stop on him. It'll bring up 3rd down at about 5.
Now they've settled down, Dick, both teams. I think we're going to see a good, solid, well-played game from this point on. No question they were rattled coming out here, even the Notre Dame team. But playing for these kind of stakes in this kind of a crowd and environment, both clubs struggled for about the first 8 minutes. But now I think we'll see a game. A real, well-executed game.
Both Holtz and Mccartney told you that they were looking to the 4th quarter in this contest.
They want to make it a battle of attrition, to wear each other down. But I'm afraid the big play guys will decide who wins it.
Hagan out of the backfield and fakes to George Hemingway, and it is a first down, Colorado at the 15.
Hemingway makes the reception.
Chris Zorich really is active in there tonight. They say he's 80%. He couldn't be 80%. He's moving too quickly. Now watch him come around in a stunt as the nose man, and there he is. Now, people say this guy really isn't going to be a pro. He's too short. I believe he'll be a fine pro. Good move. He's got good movement. He's relentless. He's simply a great football player.
Willie Clark made the tackle. There's Zorich, who wears number 50, as does his idol with the Chicago Bears, Mike Singletary. Colorado buys some real estate to the 15. The enemy trying to cut back, and he's dumped after a yard gain by Zorich again. You well know the story of Zorich. Grew up in a tough neighborhood south side of Chicago, raised by his mother, never met his father. His mother, Yugoslavian. She's watching tonight with relatives. He said it's a big household in Chicago cheering for him. An All-America 2 times and a captain now, and a charming, delightful guy, fiery, and a leader on this team.
I think he'll be a leader in the National Football League. There'll be a place for this guy. Some say he's not a first-round pick. I believe he'd be a great pick around the 25th to the 28th man in the draft.
Hemingway, he doesn't get anything. This time it's Bob Dahl spearheading the charge. Number 93 from Chagrin Falls, Ohio.
This is one of the typical plays by Zorich. He's slanting. Notre Dame decided to slant their line for this game. They're slanting a full man. In other words, Zorich over the center will quickly move over the guard position when the ball snaps. The entire line's doing that because they feel, the Irish feel that Colorado's just too big and strong to take on directly. So they're going to move that defensive line.
Lined up right over center, Jay Lewinberg now on 3rd and 9. Screen. And Dahl knocked down Eric Bieniemy, the intended receiver.
Well, either Dahl was lucky, or he's got a great capacity to read a game, because both the guard and tackle were outside, but Dahl simply read this. If you'll watch him come up the field, now he reads the screen, does a beautiful job. That's either well scouted or this guy's got the instincts. A lot of people feel that Dahl's an NFL prospect.
Ismail at the Notre Dame 46. Tom Ruin has the whole field to use. It's a dying spiral at the 50. He's on a wall. Just does spin out of bounds. And had he not been hit on that far sidelines by Rob Hutchins, number 43, that had 6 points written on it.
Well, this is just a natural thing for Ismail. He'll take the ball. He goes underneath. That's a beautiful block. And now watch that acceleration. He almost outruns everybody.
34-yard punt, 17 yards for the Rocket. Timeout.
It may have been 30 years ago, or just yesterday, a roadster caught your eye, and you've never been quite the same. The Mazda Miata.
It just feels right.
Happy New Year, everybody, from Tommy Lasorda. This is how I looked before I lost 30 pounds in 3 months with the Ultra Slim Fast plan. But look at me now.
The best part isn't how good I look, but how great I feel. And you know, Ultra Slim Fast is such a healthy diet. The best resolution you can make is to lose weight with Ultra Slim Fast. If you do, I know it will be a great year for you too.
Ultra Slim Fast. Give us a week. We'll take off the weight.
Welcome back, Dick Enberg and Bill Walsh. No score in the first quarter. Bill Mccartney angry, and one can only guess that he thought Dahl interfered with Bieniemy's chance to catch that screen pass. Why no flag?
Now, Dahl's argument here will be that he thought Bieniemy was there to block him, and he was getting rid of Bieniemy, and he very well could have felt that way. So technically, you could call that pass interference, but whenever a back's close to one of those defensive linemen, he's fair game.
So the Irish take over an excellent field position on the 33. And it's Ismail in the backfield this time. And he has the ball, and Colorado has the rocket. Jerry Howe, he doesn't pass the eye test, as Bill Mccartney told us, but he's played a real tough piece of Big 8 tackle all season long and honored by his conference as an all Big 8 performer, number 95.
Last year he made 22 tackles for losses during the year, which has to demonstrate something. He certainly doesn't look like your typical NFL defensive lineman, but this guy's quick, he's relentless, and I think he has the ability to break through blockers.
As Bill McCartney said, he plays with low pads. The pass to Rocket, and he has drilled Chad Brown, 34, coming from his inside linebacker spot.
Lou Holtz wants the Rocket to have the ball 18 to 20 times a game. I'm sure that's not one of the kind of plays he wanted. You know, watching that play in practice, I remarked to Lou Holtz, what a well-designed, well-conceived play, because it broke wide open in practice sessions. This time, Brown read that, and he just attacked the play even before it got started. That's what they have to do with Rocket. You've got to get him just as the ball gets there, or you really don't have a chance.
Third down, long 9. This time it's Brooks, and he drops the ball. Greg Biekert was coming up to make the hit for Colorado, and the Irish with excellent field position at the 33. It stalls, and on comes Jim Sexton, number 16.
Again, we watched this play practice beautifully, and everything's fine, and oh, is it tough to be a coach or a player in these kind of situations. Just a little edge difference.
Sexton is in not as a pooch punter this time, but to hold for Craig Hendrick, who will try a 50-yard attempt. This would be his career longest. It's got distance. It hits the upright, no good.
The kick hit the right upright of the goalpost and bounced away, no good.
So by
32 remaining in the first period.
The width of that cross upright, the Irish failed to take the lead. Plenty of lift, and he hit it dead center.
It could have been a 55-yarder, actually.
So we know that he's got the leg and the resources if they need the long field goal in this game. Though Colorado's sidelines pleased at that result with 1:32 remaining in a scoreless first.
I think it's only fair that this State of the Company report should have a new state-of-the-art presentation with awesome sound and dynamite graphics. Here we go.
That didn't work. Let me see.
Business is always trying to make some things better. But one thing they can't.
Mr. Barr, Federal Express delivered that London shipment early. Great, huh?
Federal Express. Absolutely, positively the best in the business.
I fall to pieces each time someone speaks your name.
While few race cars are lucky enough to even see the finish line, the rotary-powered Mazda RX-7 has won more races than any other car in IMSA history. The Mazda RX-7.
Today's Duracell batteries are built to last even longer than the ones we made just a few years ago. Guaranteeing a long, happy life. Duracell. You can't top the copper top.
The Oilers, the Bengals, the AFC wildcard game. Sunday.
The Irish and the Buffalo scoreless late in the first period. Colorado working with a new offensive coordinator. With that story, here's Bob Trumpy.
Yeah, Dick, it is rather interesting. Coach DiNardo is going to become the head coach at Vanderbilt. He's been out recruiting for Vanderbilt. McCartney had him back because he's a great influence on the team. So this is Coach Barnett's first game as the offensive coordinator of the Colorado Buffaloes. How about that for pressure?
Oh, my. And Barnett started, at least in that first sequence, with a reverse to Pritchard. And,
I'll tell you one thing. Both head coaches are directly involved in the offenses. Both know exactly what they're doing. A big part of the planning.
Colorado on the missed field goal, taking over at the 32. And the give is to the big fullback, George Hemingway, the 230-pound senior from Colton, California, one of 12 Colorado players from the state of California. Some call it the University of California at Boulder. They've always recruited well in Southern California. Hemingway last year in trouble, was sent home after a drinking incident on one of the many tours. He had to come back, apologize to his team, win back their confidence. And as Coach McCartney said, not a man that takes humility that easily, but he's done just that. And we'll show you later a big field goal play that figured in his absence. There goes all the way to the Notre Dame 43. Like a shot. Bieniemy, who averaged 148 yards rushing a game, second in the nation to Gerald Hudson of Oklahoma State.
Great job. We're just talking about the fullback, George Hemingway. Now, Leuenberg will do a fine job here, but watch Hemingway come through on the linebacker. Just talking about him, he'll lead the play, and this is what Notre Dame didn't want. He comes right through and knocks that linebacker, Stonebreaker, right off the line of scrimmage.
First down, Colorado at the Irish 43. Final half minute, first quarter, no score. Hagan to the 31-yard line, and another Colorado first down.
This is pure speed on Hagan's part. Now, he's run this option hundreds of times, thousands of times, and he knows he's made up his mind he's going to run with the ball. There isn't any option. When he comes around that corner, there's sort of a fake option. He's going to take the ball and run with it. That quickness and speed of Hagan and Bieniemy, among others, and Pritchard, is what Colorado's going to have to win with. It's the big game. It's not the war of attrition. They're going to have to win with a big game.
Hagan, a sensational baseball player, switch-hitting shortstop, drafted by Toronto. He wants to play for Colorado. McCartney says he can do whatever he wants. That's the end of the first period. No score in Miami.
Colorado, nothing.
He stirs in the land of dawning. He stirs now in the age of wandering. Now on the trail of beauty, he stirs.
Introducing the new Navajo from Mazda. Motor Trend's 1991 Truck of the Year.
It just feels right. You know when it's right. You know when you feel it, baby. You hold it, you hear it, you taste it, it's right. You got the right one, baby. Yeah. If this irresistible, uncontestable, tasteable, and intimately wonderful, you got the right one, baby. You know when irrepressibly quotable and intimately suitable. You got the right one, baby.
With 100% NutraSweet.
George Hemingway serving as an outstanding blocker on this drive. Last year, in a key play first half, Colorado lines up in a field goal position. Hemingway was supposed to be playing the tight end in this formation.
We didn't even recognize it was a fake field goal. We thought it was a bad snap because there aren't any receivers down the field. Hemingway's replacement couldn't get off the line of scrimmage because Hemingway had practiced this over and over, and all the replacement had done was watch. He didn't get off the line of scrimmage, and those are the kinds of things that killed Colorado last year.
I asked Hemingway, who was suspended, where was he when he watched the Orange Bowl? He said, with my brother in South Carolina, I put my fist through his wall. I said, you're kidding. I put my fist through the wall. I was so angry at myself. We start the second quarter, no score, and there's Bieniemy at 5'7". He just ducks in behind that huge line of Colorado and then breaks out the other side and makes 3 or 4 here. Zorich and Jones, the tacklers. 30 yards now for Bieniemy on 5 carries.
Number 42.
Both teams are haunted by the big play. They both have big play people. And a drive the length of the field with short 5 and 6 yards gains, I don't think will be the difference. It's going to be Bieniemy, Pritchard, someone, Ismail, breaking big and getting that score and breaking the game open.
Hagan on the kick. And cuts inside the 20-yard line. Another Colorado first down. Well done by Hagan. He's carrying the ball more tonight than perhaps Notre Dame expected. He suffered a dislocated left shoulder early in the season. Of course, that's why Johnson was the quarterback in that Missouri game. And then Mccartney said he's such a valuable talent, Hagan. I didn't want to risk further injury, so I didn't run him as much as I would have liked. But he's 100% tonight.
That time, the offensive line, Vanderpool and Brown, took the defenders right off the line of scrimmage. That's why that option was so open.
Bieniemy on first down. He's short, but he's certainly not small at 195 pounds, and he powers for nearly 5. Stonebreaker from River Ridge, Louisiana, the son of Steve Stonebreaker, the NFL linebacker, makes the stop.
2nd and 6 at the 15.
The Notre Dame team is slanting, and they're picking up the slants nicely, but look at Stonebreaker. He's not that big, 225 pounds, and Bieniemy hits him so quick, he knocks him back, knocks Stonebreaker back.
Ball at the 15-yard line. 3rd down, 5.5, almost 6. They get it to the fullback, and it's Hemingway inside the 10. 1st and goal, Colorado.
For a first down.
Pretty well done. This is why Colorado is number 1. Settle down. Now, this is the game that you'll see them play. This is why they're the number 1 team in the country. They've got great talent. They play great as a unit. The concepts are very, very good, other than the passing game. And this is why they're ranked number 1.
Lou Holtz trying to find a way to stop this rushing offense. Defensive woes mostly against the pass. 22.5 points a game. The most in 34 Notre Dame seasons. 1st and goal at the Irish 8-yard line. Hemingway to the 5 and they're driven back. Stonebreaker and company. Lou Holtz will he be at Notre Dame? He says he will finish his coaching career there. 54 years old on January 6th, 5 days hence, and we'll be marching right on to Hollywood after the game, win or lose, to visit with Johnny Carson on the Tonight Show tomorrow. Second and goal. The toss to Bieniemy. He wants to throw. He's got a man, but he can't find him. George Williams was charging Bieniemy, and Michael Simmons, the intended receiver, was out of bounds.
That is so tough on Bieniemy, going to his left and throwing the ball right-handed. That is such a tough throw. We wouldn't even have Joe Montana run that kind of a situation and throw that ball running to his left. So regardless of all the practice time, it's almost impossible to complete a pass like that. Too much pressure on him.
Interesting aspect of the play was Hagan's left-handed toss to Bieniemy. He's ambidextrous. Lots of time. Scrambling is Hagan. Throws into a crowd. Incomplete. Through the hands of Rico Smith, but there was a big crowd in front of him. Willie Clark and Todd Light, two Notre Dame defensive backs.
Colorado's, in a sense, lost their nerve. Two ill-conceived passes after running the ball the length of the field. And this is just what occurred a year ago. They didn't think they could get it in. They had a fake field goal. Now they have to kick the real field goal.
Jim Harper from 22 yards. Harper, a junior, played at LA Valley College, junior college last year, and he drives it through. Colorado takes the lead, 3-0. 12 minutes to go in the first half. Number 1 ranked Colorado on the board first.
It's almost as if someone once said, just in case people like sunshine and water, we'd better make Florida. And we'd better make miles of beautiful beaches and places like St. Augustine and Key West, just in case people want to go to them. There are over 4 million miles of roads in Alamo territory all across America. And every day, with every car nationwide, only Alamo gives you all those miles for free, including the ones that run through a state that's named after sunshine.
What's your first priority? Miss Crowley.
Well, I'm assuming there's product in the pipeline, so...
Assuming, Miss Crowley. Unfortunately, assuming doesn't feed the bulldog.
The top business schools prepare you for every eventuality you will ever encounter in the business world, except one, business travel. We've got that one covered. United. Come fly the friendly skies.
How can Miss Crowley's 3-person sales force stay on top of her far-flung enterprise?
It was a dumb argument. It all started when she said she went to the GM dealership for an oil change. How long did it take, I asked. Less than 29 minutes, she said. Well, what, did they do anything else or just change the oil? She said they checked the fluids and everything. In less than 29 minutes, guaranteed. She said, no way, I said. Then she said, why don't you ever believe me? That's when I knew I was in trouble. Thanks.
Your GM dealer's serious about putting service back in the service department. So try Mr. Goodwrench Quick Lube Plus for a change.
Nice. I'm a second-half quarterback.
Now that was a stellar performance.
Super buckets.
Have some chicken. You look weak. His arm is weak. It's called aging.
From Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Trivia, guys. Who has the record for most fumbles?
You mean before today?
15 pieces of chicken or a supersized bucket of hot wings, just $9.99 each.
Wait till the second half.
All right, rally.
Anytime you're ready, gentlemen.
Super buckets from KFC.
Afraid of this.
Come on, Dad.
Welcome back to the Federal Express Orange Bowl in Miami, and Bill McCartney's teams have been tough when they've scored first the last 3 seasons, losing only twice in 28 games, and they had the lead 3-0. And now as they position for a kickoff, he is going to use a new man, Pat Blateau, to kick off instead of Jim Harper. And what are they going to do, Bill?
Well, typically the kickoff will run about that kind of a trajectory. Pat's going to kick the ball, and it'll come down very, very short. They want everyone under that ball before Ismail can get started. So look for a high kickoff coming down around the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Ismail on the 5. They're willing to concede a first down, in other words, to the 30-yard line, just to keep it out of Ismail's hands. Blateau hits it this side to Rodney Culver at the 15. Culver big, but he has speed. 35 and down to the 38-yard line.
Well, back to the drawing board.
Ismail threw a good block to lead him there to the 38.
Sometimes you can overcompensate. That, in a sense, is what Colorado's done. They don't want Ismail to get the ball with any running room, so you start kicking short, and when you do that, the coverage can overrun the ball, which just happened.
Notre Dame has a new face in the backfield as everyone is riveted on the Rocket. Jerome Bettis, number 6, a freshman from Detroit, 235 pounds, now at fullback. Ian Waters, and then the quick toss to Ismail. And the Rocket, is he tough for 175 pounds. Finally wrestled down at the 46-yard line by all Big 8 safety Tim James.
They're just taking advantage of that zone defense, hitting Ismail very quickly, and then having a blocker out in front of him to get the extra 4 or 5 yards.
Number 14, Ray Griggs, comes into the huddle for Notre Dame, and Tony Smith leaves. The Rocket to the left. And Meyer's going to throw on 2nd and 2. Looking for the Rocket. And he's got it at the 41 of Colorado. His 4th catch of this first half. First down, Notre Dame.
I'm sure the pro scouts like that catch because people would wonder about his ability to really make the big catch. This is a good example. He goes way up in the air. That's a guy 6'3" going for a ball.
The 41-yard line.
His mother, Fatma, is here. There she is from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Played such a big role in launching, as she would put it, and has 3 sons, all outstanding football players. And there's Bettis. Lou Holtz really likes this young man from McKinsey High School in Detroit. 235 pounds.
A 6-yard gain on the play.
Lou Holtz bringing in plays with his wide receivers. Adrian Jarrell comes in. He's a sophomore from Athens, Georgia. And breather for the Rocket. 3-0 Colorado. The Irish have marched well into field goal range already. 10:23 remaining the first half. And the give inside to Bettis again. Still on his feet. 18-yard line before Canavis McGee can get him. Bettis, who averaged 7.7 yards per rush in his first year at Notre Dame.
I believe it was Beekert that blitzed inside and got caught by the guard. And when the guard turned him, there's a big hole. You'll see a blitz right here and the ball coming right by him to the outside. Runs inside and gets caught by the guard. Beautiful line blocking because they picked up the blitz so nicely.
And Bettis running right through the tackle of Deion Figures. It's Ricky Waters. And he's inside the 15 to the 14 before Beekert can make the stop. Beekert, a sophomore from Longmont, Colorado. OJ?
I'm here. I'm right here. He wasn't carrying the ball enough, but the offensive line coach, Joe Moore, was upset with the center, Mike Helt, and the tight end, Derek Brown, because they weren't picking up certain blitzes. They've worked on it, and evidently they picked them up because they've taken advantage of the last couple of blitz. Also, he told his offensive lineman, look, if you're tired, I want you to take a blow. We'll wear these guys down like last year. Those were his words.
Mirer keeps the ball this time and gets only 2 into the arms of Canavis McGee and company.
That was the first option play we've seen as such. Mirer will tend to pitch the ball. That time he's kept it probably by instruction to set up the pitch later. And he's going to come down the line with a swinging back to his outside. He sees a little hole, but there's the difference between Mirer and Rice of a year ago, the quarterback, who ran so very, very effectively.
And let's credit Chad Brown, was the man who made the hit. Canavis McGee cleaned it up. 3rd down, 6. Mirer underneath. Irv Smith, the backup tight end, 1st and goal.
Pass is complete to Irv Smith, number 84.
Smith delayed off the line of scrimmage. They fake into the flat, and then Smith will come just on the outside of the screen. Watch him block. Now he comes out late, and the defenders have given all kind of ground. You've seen Beekert giving ground, and then he dropped the ball in short.
This Irish team tough inside the 20 this year. Only 6 times out of 49 trips in the red zone inside the opponent's 20 have they not scored. 1st and goal. Give to the big fullback, and Bettis, the freshman, gets a couple hard-earned. Chad Brown spearheads the charge.
Well, when Colorado, just a few minutes ago, had a situation like this, they threw 2 incomplete passes. Now, Notre Dame most likely will just stay right with it, depend on their line blocking, and go for the touchdown between the tackle formations. Colorado lost their nerve. Let's see if Notre Dame does.
Bettis got more than we had thought. He's all the way to the 2-yard line. Waters on the quick pop. He is in the end zone.
A 2-yard touchdown run for number 12, Ricky Waters.
Notre Dame takes the lead on senior Ricky Waters' 11th touchdown rush of the season. The extra point by Hendrick, and it is blocked. Now that is, they can't advance that, but unsuccessfully will try to discern who is the man that got in to block it. Canavis McGee is the announcement being made. We'll double check it. And that ends a 73 consecutive point afters by Notre Dame.
Oh, from the outside, the wingman came all the way across, dove in front of the ball. A beautiful job. What an effort.
A big block at the midpoint of the second quarter. It's 6-3 Irish.
The Cadillac Sedan DeVille. The Chrysler Fifth Avenue. It's got a driver's side airbag, air conditioning, a powerful engine, available wire wheel covers, room for 6, dual electric gears.
As you can see, these two cars offer the same kind of luxury. More or less. Chrysler Fifth Avenue.
Now get cashback savings with Chrysler's Golden Advantage.
The Xerox Total Satisfaction Guarantee is one of the 10 most significant events in the history of the plain paper copier industry.
Significantly better than that of any of its competitors.
The Xerox Total Satisfaction Guarantee. When you put together better products and services, you can put together a better guarantee.
A consumer's dream. Putting it together.
Faxing, scanning, copying, printing. Xerox, the document company.
I always find myself, after the first of the year, making a resolution to trim down a little bit. It's a necessity. Healthy Choice makes that possible.
Healthy Choice dinners are more than low-calorie. They're low in fat, sodium, and cholesterol. A delicious and intelligent way to eat healthy.
So I exercise a little more after Christmas and eat a little better right after Christmas. So I can get through St. Patrick's Day.
Make the Healthy Choice and get back on track with this free 21-day healthy lifestyle plan. Call 1-800-932-2000.
Welcome back to the Federal Express Orange Bowl. It was Ronnie Bradford, number 13, who blocked the extra point. But first, here's the touchdown.
Watch Ryan block and come off on the backer. But look at this extra effort to get in the end zone. Now, Waters is not known for his strength and his physical football. But look at the extra effort. And Colorado, again, a little bit too anxious. Now, watch this. This is, again, the block. And there's a great effort made from the outside. Bradford is going to come from the outside, number 13, and dive for the ball. Dive for the ball. Beautiful job. Timed perfectly.
Rare moment against Notre Dame. We told you they'd been a long string of points after. So it's 6-3. The Irish leading with 7:32 before the intermission. And we remind you to stay tuned for what is another sensational halftime presentation. This 1991 show honoring the great Cole Porter and his music. Hendrick with a short run-up. McClellan deep. Along with the freshman Johnson, who comes up like an outfielder to catch that one at the 23-yard line. So turnabout fair play. Hendrick hits the high kickoff shot. O.J.?
Hey, it's interesting, Dick. At the end of the first quarter, I was listening to the offensive line coach, and Ricky Waters walked up to me, rolled his eyes. He was very upset that he wasn't getting the ball. He felt he was getting open, and after he scored the touchdown, he came off the field with a big smile and gave me the thumbs up. One happy camper.
So Ricky Waters, the senior who was recruited as a wide receiver, is going to be Tim Brown's replacement. And then Lou Holtz was a man who likes to move players around, offense to defense, to wide receivers to running back.
Have an unbalanced line, Dick, to the wide field. See the two men on the left or center.
And it's Hagan on the keeper to the 25, a gain of 2. Chris Zorich with another tackle for Notre Dame.
Notre Dame slanting that line to wide field. Colorado's trying to run right where the Notre Dame team is.
There's a man who dislocated his kneecap in the middle of the year and just refused to sit down, played through the injury. He had suffered it once before. Had Zorich, who was 6'1" and 266. Might well be an inside linebacker in the NFL, Bill.
I think he can play the nose position, much like a Michael Carter. He'll weigh 275 as a pro, and he's very, very quick. He reminds me a lot of Kevin Fagan of the 49ers who played for Miami.
Hagan to his tight end Sean Brown, and the junior from Granada Hills, California, hit shy of a first down by Jim Flanagan, number 44. His daddy, Jim, played at the University of Pittsburgh and with the Green Bay Packers for 4 years.
One of the problems, Dick, a guy like Mike Pritchard sitting out there not getting a chance to handle the ball. Part of it's because Hagan is not a great passer by any means, but Pritchard is a wonderful athlete whose statistics are very, very comparable to Ishmael's. But he's just not getting a chance.
Every time he touched the ball this year, he gained 20.5 yards. Pritchard, third down, Bieniemy. And it's going to be close for a first down. They were looking for number 1, the Irish defense, Bryant Young, a freshman, playing a tackle, 97, submarining on the play. Another of the young freshmen that Lou Holtz is very high on. Holtz told me that he feels this freshman class, it's a first down Colorado, this freshman class is the best he has ever had in his 21 years of head coaching. And he feels they have not only the talent, but he said the quality, the personal qualities to win a national championship, if not more than one. Lou Holtz at 147 pounds strong. He wakes up after 4 or 5 hours sleep. So does Mccartney. They're both early birds. Up the middle goes Hemingway, and they were looking for Bieniemy, and the option to the fullback works, and Willie Clark in the secondary makes a stop after a gain of 9 more.
I've talked about the unbalanced line. This time, with only 2 people right here, you'll see the Notre Dame team slant away from it, and there's a big hole up inside. So the Colorado coaches upstairs are probably seeing the same thing you and I are, Dick. Notre Dame slanting to the wide field against the unbalanced line. Colorado then recovered and came back the other way.
Zorich is out now on 2nd and 1. Hagan play action and drills it complete to Pritchard. First down at the Notre Dame 47.
Number 9, Mike.
Rod Smith made the tackle.
Good for a Colorado first down.
Well, they call him the Rocket of the Rockies. Mike Pritchard, all Big 8 split end. And here's a comparison in rushing. Yardage close, and Pritchard 15.3 average and 2 more touchdowns than the Rocket. Receiving, again, close with Pritchard averaging more and more touchdowns. And it's in the kick returns where Ismail makes up the difference. Pritchard not with the publicity, but certainly deserving of All-American notice. Bieniemy's short yardage on first down. Bob Dole, the tackler.
Tackle by Bob Dole, number 93.
And there's the return comparison. Ismail with 10 more. And, of course, what isn't in that statistic is all the yards Notre Dame makes with kickers trying to keep it away from them.
Well, Pritchard just isn't realized as much you can see on returns or anything else. Bieniemy is looks like a twisted ankle.
He twisted it in practices. We watched them on Friday. 2nd down and 6. Hagan. He throws it downtown for Pritchard. A bit too long.
Well, as much as they've worked on the passing game and as much as they've improved on it, it's just not a college-level passing attack. That time, Pritchard's going to get open, Dick, virtually every time he goes down the field.
And Greg Davis fell on the play on the coverage, so that could have been disastrous for the Irish. Let's go to Eric Bieniemy and see how he was injured.
It was the lead play that they ran against with the unbalanced line, a beautifully blocked play, but it looks like Bieniemy is just, I assume, just rolled on and an ankle twisted. He's tough. He'll be back.
3rd down. Hagan looking for Pritchard and not close.
Willie Clark blitzed right up the middle, a safety blitz, and Hagan saw it coming, couldn't do a thing about it.
4th down upcoming.
You'll see the blitz coming right up the field inside, and Hagan really being able to do nothing about it. Well timed, right up the middle. No one could block it. Willie Clark timed it. Now, we didn't see that in their practice session, so they've had some things they did in South Bend. Not down here.
So with 4 minutes and a tick left on the clock here at the Orange Bowl before halftime, Tom Ruin punts for the 3rd time. The Rocket at the 10 of Notre Dame. Readjusting their blocking assignments. And Ruin drilled Yes, indeed. So the Irish will take over at their 20. 3:52 remaining in the half.
It'll be 1st and 10.
The Japanese and Germans created a new class of luxury cars. We thought that was a good idea. They engineered many with sophisticated engines and driver's side airbag standard. We thought that was a good idea. They priced them higher than most people's annual salary. We thought that was a lousy idea. Chrysler's LeBaron sedan, America's new class of luxury.
Now get cashback savings with Chrysler's Golden Advantage.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. The people who bring you Budweiser wish you and yours the very best of everything this holiday season.
The product, the proving grounds, the results. STP gas treatment is the edge.
The 1991 Federal Express Orange Bowl is brought to you by Chrysler, where luxury is engineered to give you the advantage. By Nike, who reminds you to just do it. By United Airlines, serving over 200 cities in the U.S. and around the world. Come fly the friendly skies. And by McDonald's. You know the one. It's McDonald's for food, folks, and fun.
Just under 4 minutes remaining. Notre Dame leads number 1 ranked Colorado 6-3. There's Eric Bieniemy. Get a report on his injury. Here's Bob Trumpy.
Gentlemen, Eric Bieniemy just banged his knee. Not twisted. Is all right. Ankle's okay. I think the guy you got to watch, Dick, is Canavis McGee. He came over to the sideline during the last offensive set by Colorado. Had his right shoulder strapped very, very tightly by the trainer. He looked like he was in serious pain with his right shoulder.
But as you can see, the 3-time All Big 8 linebacker McGee is in the game as the Irish start from their own 20-yard line. Well played. Intense first half. Not a penalty flag has been thrown. Mirer. Wide open, number 10, Adrian Jarrell. And he has a first down at the 31. Dave McCluen bumped him out of bounds.
The receiver is
this game, in light of what has happened on this New Year's Day and the other bowl games, is quite a delight at 6-3. In the other 6 games, including Washington's win over Iowa in the Rose Bowl, 46-34, the average margin of victory was 28 points. A day of total blowouts, sadly, for many losers.
So much emphasis on being number 1. Some of the teams, I believe, some of the schools came into these games without a lot of incentive, without a lot of determination. He got blown out.
Ismail in the backfield, and they were waiting for him. Chad Brown from Pasadena, California, used to sell Rose Parade programs for 3 years, grew up in the shadow of the famed Rose Bowl, and he'll like what he sees when he reviews this film.
Well, Chad is going to come into that line of scrimmage so hard that he takes on the blocker and slides into the play. So he not only met a blocking guard, he just slid and adjusted to the back. Very, very well done.
Collector of reptiles. He bought 2 pythons while he's been here in Florida. On second down, Mirer has the screen set up for the Rocket. 40. And gathered by safety Greg Thomas, and a flag goes down at the 44.
The flag is down. On the stop, Greg Thomas.
Personal foul against the Buffaloes.
This is when the Irish are so difficult. Closing minutes of the half. With the Irish having just more dimension to their offense than Colorado. Very well executed screen play. Beautifully blocked down the field. And and the late hit coming in. And that's Beaker. He's the guy that makes all the tackles, but that wasn't a tackle.
Ismail has touched the ball 8 times today, 5 receptions. That's 1 shy of his career high. 2 rushes and 1 kick return. He's averaging 12 touches a game, and many feel that's not enough for all of his talent. In fact, Lou Holt said he hopes 18 to 20 today. This is Tony Brooks, the senior, to the 35-yard line. Beyond the figures made the tackle.
This is big game experience showing up on Notre Dame's part. Beating a team like Southern Cal 5 straight times, being a Michigan State in big games. This is a situation they can thrive in. They've been there before, as Lou Holt said.
Well, how about Miami? There's another victory this year.
The traditional rivals, too. People plan to play them all off-season. They still do successfully.
Out of triple left, Rodney Culver takes the handoff, and he's near another first down at the 31. Gary Howe, 95, gets off the ball carrier.
It's easy to say, but Colorado just can't go in at halftime with any more points. They haven't registered much offense themselves, and any points added up at this point, Colorado is going to have a hard time that second half.
1 minute and 51 seconds left, and time has been called for the measurement. You saw Rodney Culver come off the field with 710 yards rushing on the season. That's significant, and it's the first time a Notre Dame fullback has led the team in rushing in 13 years. You have to go back to 77 and Jerome Evans to find a fullback that was #1 in that rushing column. It is a first down for Notre Dame at the 31 of Colorado. And Culver comes back in.
Lou Holtz calls all the plays. He directs the offense throughout the game. He gets a lot of help naturally from assistant coaches upstairs and downstairs. But he calls the plays. He puts together the offense. This is not just a motivator. This is a true technician as well as a great organizer and motivator.
Plenty of time. 1 minute 35, clock running. There's the reverse to Rocket. Oh, look at the moves. They finally corral him after a gain of just a couple, but he's fun to watch. Dion figures. It just looked like turning a great athlete loose in a crowd, and everyone just trying to corral him, bunch him toward the middle, gather him up. Don't let him get on the outside.
They all know where to go once he has the ball. They start heading for their own goal line almost. Look at the moves. Now he's beating some excellent athletes. These aren't just guys that are passing through town.
Timeout, 6-3 Notre Dame and driving for more.
This company basketball game is a great idea. It'll build togetherness, friendship, team spirit. So let's have some fun.
Can we get in the game?
In a minute.
Somebody please throw the ball, please.
You're all over me.
Can we get in now?
Later.
Hello? Hey, you call me again, you're going to be looking for the ball.
Can we get in now?
No!
There are a lot of ways to improve business morale. The best? Using the on-time delivery of Federal Express.
Mr. Triola?
What?
Your package from Tokyo. Have a good one.
Thank you. Federal Express, absolutely, positively the best in the business.
Chrysler announces the Golden Advantage. Cash back of $500 or $1,000 on Dodge Caravan and Plymouth Voyager, the gold standard of minivans. $1,000 or $2,500 cash back on Jeep Cherokee, the gold standard of four-wheel drives. And $300 to $3,000 cash back on other Dodge, Chrysler, Plymouth, and Jeep Eagle gold standards. The Golden Advantage. The savings are like the quality. Good as gold. Hurry, savings end soon.
The place to be early on Super Sunday is with the NBA on NBC. The LA Lakers, the Boston Celtics. Basketball's most classic rivalry is renewed in venerable Boston Garden. It's Magic and Bird once again. The NBA on NBC. There's magic in the air.
There's the Rockets' pyrotechnics last year. The touchdown, you'll recall, came on a 35-yard reverse. He didn't catch a pass, rushed for 16 times. Today, 3 rushes, a -1, but the 5 receptions, 1 shy of a career high. just can't corral him.
It's not so much the 7.1 or the 5.5. It's getting that big game, the 35 or 50-yarder, that makes a difference in a ball game. Big blitz.
Second down and incomplete to Rodney Culver as Rick Mirer had to hurry his throw. Canavis McGee was putting on the pressure.
They put everybody into the line of scrimmage on a blitz called just at the right time. You'll see these people all coming into the line of scrimmage and a screen pass called and really no one there to block. See, unblocked people. Chad Brown is right on top of Mirer. So it was well called just at the right time, but they better not try it again if the Rocket's out to the flanker. Now he's in the slot, and you don't see a blitz coming this time. They'll get away with it once or twice a ball game.
Triple left on 3rd and 9. And a good defensive play by Chad Brown again, and Brown has had a brilliant first half, putting the pressure on Rick Mirer and forcing the short throw.
Notre Dame tried to put the Rocket going away from the sprint out. Mirer went left, Rocket went up the field, and now he'll break inside and then back across the field. The ball would have been there possibly, but the pass rush by Brown broke it up.
Here's a 48-yard field goal attempt by Hendrick. He again shows the strong leg, but he misses to the left. So Hendrick has hit the upright from 50, and he hooked wide left from 48. And Lou Holtz said, hey, you're going to, this is Holtz working his best psychology, not letting the young kicker get his head down. He's saying, you're going to get another chance. Hang in there. 1:07 remaining in the first half. It remains Notre Dame 6, Colorado 3.
Hello?
Mr. O'Reilly, this is the MCI operator. I have a call from New York.
Hi, Uncle Mike.
Trish?
I have a little surprise for you.
Mrs. O'Reilly, I have a call from New York and San Diego.
Hello?
A call from the United States for Seamus O'Reilly.
I'll try and find him. He's in Ireland.
This is Meg O'Reilly.
Guard, line 1. O'Reilly.
You're still chasing the bad guy, Sean.
Who is it?
Everybody. I can't believe this.
Hello?
Seamus!
Who's this?
Happy New Year, Seamus!
Should old acquaintance be forgot? For on Lang Syne, we'll take a cup of pine.
Eddie, listen to this. Are you listening?
I'm listening.
It says right here that conspicuous consumption is out of fashion. Traditional values are back in. Club hopping is out. Gardening is in. Nouvelle cuisine is out. Simple good food is in. Sequin bustiers are out. Plain pocket t-shirts are in. Eddie, do you know what this means? We're hip. I've got to call Lois.
Food, folks, and fun.
The heart and soul of America.
The guts to uncover the truth. 2 extraordinary new shows. 1 extraordinary new hour of primetime television. Premiering Sunday night on NBC.
The master motivator, Lou Holtz, making sure that Hendrick stays in the game. I don't remember you embracing Ray Wersching all that much with the 49ers.
Ray, in 1981, really got us into the Super Bowl with some great kicking. But I also had a cord hooked to me, and they all knew how much range I had on that cord. I can only go about 30 feet, so everybody was isolated way out around me. But, you know, Lou Holtz is the consummate coach. Some people say he couldn't coach at the NFL level. I think he's a great football coach, and I think he'd adapt to it beautifully.
At the 30-yard line, it's Hagan. He can scramble. Now he's going to run and throws incomplete to the tight end, Sean Brunt. But Lou Holtz did get a chance. The flag is down to coach in the NFL in 1976 against the Jets, and he didn't finish the year, went 3-10.
He took on an Asian Jet team. They lost him down 5 yards. He took on an aging Jet team, and he taking on that aging Jet team, he was a very young, inexperienced coach. It was way too much for him. Right now, as I visit with this guy, he's one of the truly great men in the field right now. I believe he could take any kind of an NFL team, any kind of a college program, and make it a winner. The guy's ethics and his professionalism are among the very, very best.
The penalty against Hagan for crossing the line of scrimmage before the pass. He did have some running room, but elected to throw. 1:01 left in the half. Colorado has its 3 timeouts remaining. They throw underneath, incomplete to Pritchard, trying to set up a little wide screen.
That time, Dick, Pritchard's broken hand cost him the reception. You could see him trying to handle that ball with that broken left hand because it was a tough catch running right at a quick short pass. He couldn't handle it.
Piloting the MetLife blimp for tonight's action, captains Mike Fitzpatrick and Corky Bellinger. There's the MetLife overview of the Orange Bowl. So much wonderful football history here. In fact, 4 national champions decided here in this game in the decade of the 80s. 3rd and long for Hagan. George Williams can't tackle him. Hagan brought down at the 30. So back to the original line of scrimmage. Bob Dahl and Don Grimm make the tackle, and timeout called now by the Irish, who will have a chance. And Hagan slow getting up.
Also there is Don Grimm.
And the quarterback of the Buffaloes, much like the top running back, Eric Bieniemy, will limp off. Timeout. The Irish will get the ball on a punt with 50 seconds to go, and Notre Dame leads by 3.
You gotta do it for yourself. You gotta do it for your health. And when you take it off, you'll feel so good. When you live in life, you know you should. It's a way of life. Right now. Slim, fast way of life. You're looking good and feeling great. It's a slim, fast way of life.
This is the day to join the 20 million Americans who are living the slim, fast way of life. It's the day to start taking off the weight and keeping it off for the rest of your life. This is the day to start the slim, fast way of life, so you'll feel healthier from the day you start losing the weight.
It's a way of life right now. Slim, fast way of life. You're looking good and feeling great. It's a slim, fast way of life.
Presenting the $9,500 Advantage. It comes with the Chrysler New Yorker 5th Avenue, which comes with a fuel-efficient 3.3-liter V6, a standard driver's airbag, better owner care than any Cadillac sedan, and a price tag $9,500 less than Cadillac Sedan DeVille. Chrysler 5th Avenue. Luxury with a $9,500 Advantage.
Now get cashback savings with Chrysler's Golden Advantage.
Big 8 quarterback Darian Hagan limping off, favoring a knee and wincing in pain. That looks pretty serious. Here's what happened as Dahl and Grimm converge on him. Watch that left knee. It gets pinned underneath. And he knows right away.
It didn't look like a blow to it. It looked like he wrenched it into the ground.
So Hagan out of commission. Probably won't have an opportunity, Colorado's offense, the remainder of the half anyway. 50 seconds remaining before the intermission, and Tom Ruin will kick. 3 men back for the Irish. They have a return on, of course, the rocket, the deep man, inside the 30. Ruin, oh, does he hit this one? Oh, my. To the 10-yard line. Did he outkick the coverage? No. Great kick by Ruin. 59 yards. Tackled by Paul Rose, number 46. On the health of Darian Hagan, here's Bob Trumpy.
Yeah, Dick, this sounds like bad news. He just told the Colorado trainer and doctor that he felt pop out. They were not sure exactly what pop out meant, but he was feeling, the doctor was feeling above the kneecap. He is limping and limping badly going to the locker room.
If he is unable to play in the second half, the job will fall in the hands of Charles Johnson, a junior from Detroit. As we told you before, the man who quarterbacked the team in that Missouri win. Give this to Ricky Waters. No, that's Tony Brooks who gets out to the 30-yard line.
Well, Charles Johnson, the backup quarterback, has played well. He moved the ball extremely well against Washington. You remember when Hagan had that separated shoulder. Then he had that final drive against Missouri. He did a fine job. So he's not a bust. He can play football.
29, that play gain 11
Clock running now at 25 seconds. The Irish did not use a timeout. Time stopped for the first down. Here's Waters spinning his way into midfield and finally brought down at the 38-yard line by Dwayne Davis. The nickel back for Colorado. Timeout with 15 seconds remaining. First half, Notre Dame leading 6-3, and into the eyes of, and the mind perhaps, of Charles Johnson.
165 pounds, Dick, but he is a competitor. He played well against Iowa State. He moved the ball on the final drive against Missouri with a 5-down situation, and against Washington. So he has played, and he's I think even a better passer than Hagan. That's not saying an awful lot, but he is a better passer.
So Darian Hagan, in the sight you don't like to see, the star quarterback of Colorado, being assisted back into the locker room.
You'd almost assume it's a cartilage problem that most likely was displaced in some way, that it makes the knee locks and he's helpless.
Is it the kind of injury, from what Bob Trumpy told us, that you would even expect him to reappear in the second half?
No, I don't think he can come back. I don't think it's a terribly serious injury, but I doubt that he won't come back.
So Bill Mccartney will have to engineer a new game plan for the second half, recognizing the perhaps limitations of Johnson as a runner, but perhaps exploiting his strength as a passer. 15 seconds before intermission. Rocket in motion. Now they look for the rocket, but instead throw to Derek Brown, the tight end, and the first down did not get out of bounds at the 43, so the Irish have to use their final timeout.
Make that Craig Beaker.
Or do they? They have not used a timeout. Now they wind it up. And Mirer will stop it with the incomplete pass.
Gee, that's a bad-looking play, that throwing into the ground, Dick. It really is. Everybody's doing it now. There's got to be a better way. Such a botched-looking thing. Because it's really not a pass. I mean, that, you might as well just say that you can kneel down and stop the clock. That's not a pass.
A lot of wide eyes on that sideline. When you look behind the Lou Holtz and the rest of the faces.
Well, they've got a big play. I'm sure they'll be looking for number 25.
He's in the slot right.
Be down the field.
Rocket slot right. Probably the final play of the first half. Hagan caught by Alfred Williams, and the All-American linebacker finally makes a big play. He led the Big 8 in sacks with 12.5 this year. Gets his first of this night at the end of the first half. The news, good for Lou Holtz, not good for Bill Mccartney. McCartney's Buffaloes trail 6-3, and they probably have lost their star quarterback, Darian Hagan, for the remainder of the game. That's the story of the first half. Let's go to Bob Costas.
Dick, thanks very much. And coming up at halftime, as we roll on with Championship Tuesday here on NBC, I'll be joined by Will McDonough, O.J. Simpson, and Bob Trumpy. And Trump will have further reports on Darian Hagan's condition. We'll check on all the scores from what's been a day of lopsided college bowl games. And, of course, we'll have the Orange Bowl halftime spectacular, which is a tribute to the music of Cole Porter. Let's quickly check the scores from the other games today. Beginning with the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida, the Michigan Wolverines all over the Mississippi Rebels, 35-3. Clemson beat the Fighting Illini from Illinois and did it easily in the Hall of Fame Bowl. The score there was 30-0. In the Florida Citrus Bowl, and this is very important because Georgia Tech is positioned, should Colorado lose tonight, to make a legitimate claim to the national championship. The Yellow Jackets 45 and the Cornhuskers of Nebraska 21. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. Bobby Ross's team, the only unbeaten major college team in the country, only a tie against North Carolina, blemishing their record, led 7-0 in the second quarter as we pick up this action. Off the play action fake, Sean Jones rolling left, and he finds Emmett Merchant with a fine diving catch, 22-yard touchdown, 14-0. Then they tack on the finishing touches in the fourth quarter. A tremendous performance by this man, William Bell. Change of directions, breaking tackles, back the other way, 57-yard touchdown. One of 3 TDs he scored, 2 on the ground. Look at the flourish he finishes it off with. 2 on the ground, 1 through the air, 127 yards rushing all told. Georgia Tech goes on to win, 45-21. Now in the Cotton Bowl, the Miami Hurricanes really made a statement, ending Texas's 9-game winning streak. The Hurricanes wind up winning their last 6. They go 10-2, but they lost to Notre Dame and to Penn State. Rather to BYU. They lost to Notre Dame and BYU. 46-3 the final score. Dennis Erickson, the Miami coach, told me after the game that while he thinks his team is capable of beating any team in the country, realistically, he doesn't think there's any scenario which could yield the national championship for the Hurricanes. In the Fiesta Bowl, the Louisville Cardinals clobbered the Alabama Crimson Tide. The score in Tempe was 34-7. A wild game at the Rose Bowl, and the Pac-10 representative, Don James' Washington Huskies, ranked number 8, beat the Big Ten co-champions, the 17th-ranked Iowa Hawkeyes of Hayden Fry, 46-34. A game in progress in New Orleans. The Virginia Cavaliers, at one time ranked number 1, but now with a record of 8-3, have a 9-0 lead late in the second quarter over the Tennessee Volunteers, who lost to Notre Dame this year and tied Colorado. Now we'll be back with the bands from both Notre Dame and Colorado after this message from the University of Colorado. Stay with us.
Welcome to the University of Colorado.
We're asking a question, and we're looking within to find out something about human nature.
We have the finest undergraduate education that anyone could get here at the University of Colorado. All that's required is a student be deeply interested and committed to the work.
Everybody, light up!
It's a collective good. Why is it a collective good? Somebody raise your hand.
Time at the Orange Bowl. Notre Dame 6, Colorado 3. Let's go to the field and join the band from the University of Colorado. Back with the Notre Dame band in just a moment. Stay with us.
In a recent survey, American college students said they were mainly concerned with themselves. They were not interested in giving as much as in receiving, not as taken with service as with success. Yet at Notre Dame, students have always put their time where their values are. Why?
because volunteering is a commitment that educates. Notre Dame's president, Holy Cross Father Edward Malloy, describes the university.
A place where the mind and the heart can come together, where we can take our training and our intellectual development and focus it in such a way that we can make a difference.
Many Notre Dame students are making a difference. Some work with mentally and physically handicapped children. The children are taught, but their teachers also learn. They learn patience, kindness, respect for other human beings. And the final lesson for students is that there are many things to learn at Notre Dame, and one is how to care.
Championship Tuesday continuing in Miami at the Orange Bowl with the halftime score. Notre Dame 6, Colorado 3. Let's go back to the field and the man from the University of Notre Dame. Just got additional word on Darian Hagan. Ruptured tendon of the left knee, definitely out for the rest of the game. Still to come from Miami's Orange Bowl, the always entertaining halftime extravaganza. But first, we go to NBC News in New York.
Good evening. Coming up tonight on News 4's Late Edition, we'll go live to Miami, where the Buffs are fighting for #1.
Meanwhile, the undefeated Yellow Jackets win big in the Citrus Bowl. Now Georgia Tech says it's #1 tonight. Now this.
Is your love of cheese matched only by your passion for a great deal? Try Arby's new triple cheese melt and French fry combo. Now just $1.99.
Also tonight, fire rips through Gunnison, destroying a downtown landmark.
And no smoking signs spell bad news for travelers at Stapleton. The smoking ban is now in effect.
And a warm start for the new year. We'll get the forecast from Larry.
Be sure to join us for the Late Edition tonight, right after the Orange Bowl postgame show.
Every year, people compete in the winter games. There's the lift and tow, the hat toss, and plenty of sideline activity. But the Subaru Legacy lets you play the game a little differently. It's the lowest price car you can buy with both four-wheel drive and anti-lock brakes. And because now you could save over $2,300 on the Subaru Legacy L four-wheel drive with ABS Value Plus package, this is the only winter game you'll
save over $2,300 on Legacy four-wheel drive and ABS only till January 3rd.
World War II ushered in a new heroine to the American West, the working mother. And the people of U.S. West were often the connection between mothers and children.
Tommy, where are you? Hello? Sis, Tommy must be playing ball. Tell him I'll be late for supper.
Well, let him eat with us.
Thanks. I've got to go.
And today, U.S. West continues to pioneer communication ideas like voice messaging.
At 3:30 p.m.
A new way to record messages without an answering machine.
Tony, something's come up, but I will meet you at the game.
And new second-line options help families stay connected.
Hold on a second. My other line's ringing.
Hello? Mom, you can't be late. I pitched first inning, remember?
I remember. At U.S. West, we make life a little easier and families a little closer. U.S. West, making the most of your time.
It's over. The tree has lost its glitter. The fruitcake is fossilized. And you're besieged by the gentle reminders of Christmas past. That's why Pizza Hut introduces the $5.99 pepperoni pizza deal. Get a delicious pepperoni pan pizza for just $5.99. But you'd better hurry because, unlike the fruitcake, this deal won't last forever.
Happy New Year from News 4.
Is back at the Orange Bowl in Miami, where it's halftime and they're set for tonight's show, kicking off a year-long celebration of the music of Cole Porter. The stars of the show are Academy and Tony Award winner Joel Grey, Roz Ryan from the TV show Amen, and jazz singer Lisanne Lyons. We join them now for their presentation of You'll Get a Kick Out of Cole, at which point I assume the lights will come back on.
Committee, in cooperation with the Cole Porter Centennial Committee, brings to life the songs of America's musical genius, Cole Porter, with You'll Get a Kick Out of Cole, featuring Lisanne Lyons, Roz Ryan, and starring Joel Grey. I get no kick from champagne. The alcohol doesn't thrill me at all, so tell me why should it be true? I've got you under my skin. I've got you deep in the heart of me. So deep in my heart, you're really a part of me. Yes, I get a kick out of you. Another rolling out of you. Another show. Give me land, lots of land, thunder, starry skies above. Don't fence me in. Let me ride through the wide open country that I love. Don't fence me in. Entering the field now is the 1990-91 Orange Bowl Queen and Coral. Here's Princess Lisette Abraham, Princess Natasha Sartu, Princess Allison Scott, Princess Marlene Sotelo, and Her Majesty, Orange Bowl Queen Sharon Zimbler.
If you're ever in a jam, here I am. If you're ever in a mess, SOS. If you ever feel so happy you lay the jam, I'm your man. It's friendship, friendship, just the perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forgotten, ours will still be hot.
And here again is Lisanne Lyons.
most skies today. The women prize today are just silly gigolos. So though I'm not a great romancer, I know that you're bound to answer when I propose. Be a clown, be a clown, be a clown. Do you hear that playing? Yes, we hear that playing. Do you know who's playing? Now who is that playing? Why, it's Gabriel, Gabriel playing. Gabriel, Gabriel saying, will you be ready to go when I blow my horn?
Here's Roz Ryan.
Oh, blow, Gabriel, blow. Oh, blow, Gabriel, blow. I've been a sinner, I've been a scam. Now I'm willing to trim my lamp. So blow, Gabriel, blow. I love Paris in the springtime. I love Paris in the fall. I love Paris in the winter when it drizzles. I love Paris in the summer when it sizzles. I love Paris every moment, every moment of the year. I love Paris. Why, oh why do I love Paris? Because my love is here. When love comes in and takes you for a spin. Oh la la la, c'est magnifique. When every night your loved one holds you tight. Oh la la la, c'est magnifique. But when one day your loved one drifts away. Oh la la la, it is so tragique. But when once more she whispers, je t'adore. C'est magnifique. There is no trick to a can. It is so simple to do. Can. When you once kick to a can, you'll be so easy for you. Can. It's an English Dapper Dan can. It's an Irish Callahan can. It's an Afghanistan can. Baby, you can too. It's a Louvre custodian can. It's a Guard Republican can. It's that Go and Matisse and Cézanne can. Baby, you can too. Baby, you can too. Hats off to you, our friend, song setter of the trend. You made the whole world stop and listen. You painted memories with words and melodies. You made us laugh. You made us cry. And so to you tonight we raise our voices high. You're the top of the top. You're the top. A toast to you, Cole Porter. We get a kick out of you. You're the top.
Halftime tribute to the music of Cole Porter with thanks to Bill Ledoux and Danny Beck, who contributed to the presentation. We're back with Will McDonough, O.J. Simpson,
Pageant Director Coordinator Bill Ledoux, Choreographer Danny Beck, Director of Operations, Roy Young. Technical Director, Joe Hatton. Lighting and design coordination, Elite Kawan.
Remember this great moment?
Come on, baby. Oh! It's in!
Well, there's many more to come in 91 on NBC Sports.
And here comes Michael Jordan. Twisted and hit it!
The NBA regular season, the All-Star game, the playoffs, and the NBA Finals.
And here's Bo Jackson around the corner and down the sideline, and there he goes!
The raw excitement of the NFL.
It's a reverse to Rocky. Is nailed, and he might go all the way.
The history and emotion of Notre Dame football. The grace and athletic artistry of the World Figure Skating Championships. The tension and drama of the PGA Tour. The best events leading up to the 92 Olympics on NBC, featuring the World Track and Field Championships this summer. And the crown jewels of tennis's Grand Slam, the French Open, and Wimbledon. Now and through the 90s, NBC is truly the place to be.
On behalf of the Orange Bowl Committee, Jim Barksdale and Mike Glenn, we'd like to present to you this salute for winning the Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award for 1990 in the service. We can't think of better people to be associated with at the Orange Bowl, and we can't think of better quality people than Federal Express.
Well, all right, thank you very much. We're delighted to be recipients of this. And on behalf of the 90,000 wonderful employees of Federal Express worldwide, we're happy to receive this recognition for their efforts for total quality, and we want to wish everybody a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Championship Tuesday continues from the Orange Bowl with Colorado and Notre Dame just moments away from the second half kickoff. Will McDonough joins us now. Notre Dame is in front here, 6-3. And let's get Will McDonough's thoughts on the first half.
Well, Bob, with Hagan apparently out, I think it now becomes imperative for Bieniemy to play and to play well. He has carried this team all year on offense. He averages 26 carries a game. He's only carried 8 times in the first half. And I felt at the beginning of the game, Colorado was trying to establish what Notre Dame's keys were on defense with all those trick plays, seeing how they could get Bieniemy to go.
I wonder if this might be a factor. Gary Barnett is the new offensive coordinator for the Colorado Buffaloes. He had been coaching the running backs and earlier in his career there, the quarterbacks. Jerry DiNardo had been their offensive coordinator, left in December to take the job at Vanderbilt. And so Barnett, who is new to this particular assignment, although not new to McCartney's staff, has to make adjustments now with one of his most important players out in the second half.
Well, the whole Colorado team is going to have to adjust because you got Johnson coming into the game. He's only thrown the ball 32 times this year with 15 completion. And you got to get Bieniemy to start to run. He averaged 5 yards a carry in the first half. If they get him the ball 20 times, he takes over the game. Colorado got a shot.
Okay, let's get further insight into the situation regarding the Colorado Buffaloes. Bob Trumpy has spent the entire day with them. Let's go to Trump on the sidelines. Bob?
Yeah, Robert, just to fill you in a little more on the injury to Darian Hagan, he has a ruptured patellar tendon that is generally only solved through surgery. There's also other injuries for the Colorado Buffaloes. Canavis McGee has a very, very bad right shoulder, is going to try to play in the second half. There's no guarantee he'll be out there at all. Bieniemy is fine. So the story in the first half for the Colorado Buffaloes, again, missed opportunities and injury. And for a report on Notre Dame, let's go to O.J. Simpson.
Thank you, Bob. You know, I had a chance to talk to Lou Holtz as they came off the field. I asked him, would it make any difference on how they're going to approach Colorado in the second half without Darian Hagan? He said, no, we just got to keep doing what we're doing. I said, you seem to be having some problems scoring, only 6 points. He said, we got to get a rhythm going. We're having trouble picking up some blitzes, especially number 76, Gene McGuire. He's having a lot of trouble finding number 34, Chad Brown. So he says we got to do a lot better in that respect, that department of our offense is picking up blitz. Back to you, Bob.
All right, O.J., thanks very much. Quickly, a Sugar Bowl update. They're at halftime in New Orleans. The Virginia Cavaliers 16 and the Tennessee Volunteers nothing. We'll be back after the game with post-game interviews. But time now for the second half. And before we do that, let's send it back to O.J. Simpson, who apparently has additional information. Juice, well, there he is with Lou Holtz. Go ahead, Juice.
Coach Holtz, what did you tell your team in the locker room? You only scored 6 points in the first half.
Yeah, but we moved the ball. We didn't take advantage of some of the opportunities. We had a guy wide open on the first play of the game. But just, hey, it's now down to a 30-minute half, a 30-minute football game. And the great thing about intercollegiate athletics, these are the times that you really formulate certain philosophies you're going to carry in life.
Well, you said going in that you wouldn't change your defense defensive philosophy because Hagan was out, but they're putting in their second-string quarterback, Johnson. I believe he's a slight better passer. Are you planning to do anything different defensively?
Well, we really can. He's a good option quarterback. He's led the Colorado Buffaloes to a couple wins. We know he's a good quarterback. We can't control that. We had a game plan. We just got to follow it, O.J.
Well, thank you, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Bob, back to you.
All right, O.J., and this time we're not kidding. It really is time for the second half kickoff. We'll be back here after the game, but right now we send it back upstairs to Dick Enberg and Bill Walsh. Gentlemen, it's all yours.
Thank you, Bob. Looking at the Colorado Buffaloes as they return to the field, as you know, Notre Dame deferred on winning the coin toss to start the game. Notre Dame will get the ball first. It's important to point out that Colorado has been a team, and Bill Mccartney is counting on them being a second-half team, a fourth-quarter team, and they certainly have rallied well during the course of this season.
Well, the entire season was the fourth quarter for Colorado this year. That's why they're number one. 6 times they've come from behind in the fourth quarter against top competition to win the ball games. I'm sure they've got confidence, but it depends now on this quarterback playing football just as Hagan would have played. They can't change a thing, Dick. Johnson is going to have to do just what Hagan would have done.
Lou Holtz did not talk about his defense, but this team tonight is playing the way they did against Southern California to end the regular season when they held the Trojans to only 2 field goals in Los Angeles. Colorado, a team averaging over 32 points a game, gets just 1 3-pointer in the first 30 minutes.
Well, it's 30 minutes of football now for the national championships. 2 or 3 big plays somewhere. Bieniemy, Pritchard are going to have to make them to get Colorado back in this.
Well, Ralphie and the Colorado cheer unit trying to inspire the Buffaloes and their fans. It's a rare chance, a second chance to make a first impression, as it would be for Colorado. And Bill Mccartney talked about that to us. He said, who would have thought in his best dreams last year that he'd get a second opportunity to win the first ever collegiate football championship for Colorado. As some of you know, especially out in the Rocky Mountain area, Colorado has won 11 national sports titles, all 11 in skiing.
Well, last year 0-0, this year 6-3. The game's for anybody to take. Both coaches talked about winning in the fourth quarter, a battle of attrition, wearing the other guy down. Now they've got their wish.
Yeah, it's interesting. You made the comment during the first half that a lot of teams with all the lopsided scores today who felt they had no chance to be number one said, well, let's just have a good time and play, and that may have been one of the factors in the lopsided scores. Well, that could have fallen on Notre Dame's shoulders, but they certainly have played true to their tremendous tradition.
Notre Dame's tradition, their great rivalries over the years, playing the best teams in football, week after week winning. They're a great one.
There's Charles Johnson. He is a leader on this Colorado team.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is that
Johnson, along with his other qualifications, is a leader and well respected as you see him talking to his teammates. In fact, he is the president of the Black Alliance Council on the campus of the University of Colorado. And to show you the strength of this young man, he brought his young brother to Boulder from Detroit and serves as his legal guardian. So in essence, he is a parent to his younger brother while fulfilling his responsibilities as a student athlete at Colorado.
I don't think he's going to lack confidence. I think he has leadership ability, and Colorado can't change things because Hagan isn't in there. They have to go exactly as they had planned things. They just don't have that many weapons as a pass offense, so Johnson's going to have to carry this team.
And that man right there, number 1, Eric Bieniemy, you'll recall that Nebraska game when Bieniemy fumbled 5 times, lost 4, and yet he came to the sidelines in the second half wanting to be down, and with a fight inside that senior athlete, he rallied the Buffaloes to 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter in the win against Nebraska, 27-12. It is Lateau spinning it down, and the Rocket has to take a handoff and finally is pushed to the sidelines and corralled inside the 30-yard line. And that's exactly what Bill Mccartney wanted in his game plan. Keep the Irish in the kickoffs inside the 30. Rick Mirer had a decent first half for the Irish as he threw the ball 19 times, completed 10 for 94 yards. The 1 interception on his first pass, but as Lou Holtz said, he had a man wide open, didn't see him. They begin from the 28-yard line. The national championship in the hands of Colorado with a victory, perhaps, despite Georgia Tech's outstanding win today and great season. Notre Dame, much like the University of Miami, a team they defeated with 2 losses, unlikely to win the championship. Mirer down the middle to Derek Brown, the tight end, to the 45-yard line. Dion Figures made the tackle.
A audible at the line of scrimmage. Mirer saw the defense he wanted, called the tight end slipping down the field after faking off tackle.
26 yards on the
Now you
pass
see
to
Brown
Brown, first
releasing
and 10
straight up the field, looking for the ball. He wasn't accounted for because the Colorado linebackers bid on that run fake. Now that's something they practiced, and that one did come through for him.
Derek Brown following Bavaro and Casper, McAfee, and way back to Heisman winner Leon Hart as ends at Notre Dame. There's Tony Brooks.
Tony Brooks, Gary.
A 41-yard line. Marcellus Elder, a sophomore from Long Beach, California, made the tackle as they stretch out the All-America nose guard Chris Zorich.
Marcellus Elder along with Greg Beaton.
It may be that knee, and yes, it is. You see how heavily bandaged it is, where he suffered the dislocated knee. Darian Hagan limps back to the field with that brilliant smile of his, trying to smile through the disappointment and pain.
Again, changing the play at the line.
Ricky Waters is stuffed after a yard pickup. Alfred Williams knifing in from his outside linebacker position. Williams has a brother in Saudi Arabia watching this telecast. It's early morning in the Middle East. His brother, 2 years older in the U.S. Army.
The game was 2 and 3rd and 3.
Andre
at the 39-yard line.
This is a top draft choice, has a great future in professional football. He doesn't play as physically as he should. Great cat-like ability, but doesn't take on blockers. And
it was inside to Waters, and Brooks with a first down, and Brooks had been stopped short of the sticks, but carried 2 tacklers with him for the first down inside the 35.
I'm just going to say, people like Alfred Williams, that entire defensive unit, are going to have to maintain their disciplines. If they get frantic at all, and try to make plays themselves to compensate for the loss of Hagan, these kind of things happen.
Play gain 5 yards. It's first down.
The Federal Express Orange Bowl with the national championship at stake for the University of Colorado. We've just begun the second half. Notre Dame leading. Colorado ranked 6-3. Contact made, and the 5 yards will go against Joel Steed, number 93, the nose tackle for Colorado.
Dead ball, offside, defense, still first down.
So it'll be 1st and 5 for the Irish. Bill Mccartney just celebrated his 50th birthday at the start of the season and proudly weighed in at 195. He told us the same as his graduation weight from high school. And he has that 15-year contract. My friend Dick Connor, the Denver Post, didn't know if that was a punishment or praise. The middle goes Tony Brooks. Elder makes the tackle. Looks as if the Irish have another first down.
Sort of an ominous look right now. They're stretching out that Colorado defense and then just driving up in between linebackers. Just taking advantage of Steed will move, and the ball will break right in behind him. And they're just trying to stretch that defense. 3 wide receivers to one side. That softens up the defense. But basically, with those people stretched, they're just breaking between people. That time, Steed moved, and they broke behind him.
There goes Ricky Waters into the clear, and Waters is to the 5.
Ricky Waters. Dragged down by Craig Thomas inside the 5.
Waters looked good on that play. He exploded. Untouched going through the line of scrimmage. Brown gets cut off beautifully by the back.
Ryan Mahalgo.
Yeah, beautiful job. And they just splitting those defenders. That's like 4 plays in this drive. Colorado people went one way, and the back broke the other way.
Well, this is remindful of Anthony Johnson and what the Irish did in the second half against Colorado in the Orange Bowl last year. Working with 2 tight ends, 1st and goal. Waters, no gain. Chad Brown on top, and down underneath to help out on the tackle.
On the stop,
Biekert.
Chad Brown. Also there, Paul Rose.
See Colorado moving people around, and that's a beautiful job of coming underneath everything. Paul Rose did a fine job of meeting that entire play. First he met the tight end, then the back.
That's an important call, though. Paul Rose, 46, is the backup to Canavis McGee, so McGee's shoulder must be bothering him. Full house backfield for the Irish, and Mirer changes his call. The Rocket is the right halfback. They go to Culver. Culver, no gain.
Biekert again, leading tackler on the team. Biekert just traveled right with Culver, met him right at the line of scrimmage. So you'll see Biekert coming from the right-hand side of the screen and just meeting the ball carrier right at the line of scrimmage. Beautiful shot.
The great tradition of Colorado skiing. Biekert said, I'm going to go home after the game and hit the slopes. He says, I'm the kind of guy who points him straight downhill and yells, watch out.
Look out for a play pass here. We saw them in practice working on it. They'll fake inside and throw on the flat. There it is.
Mirer to the end zone. Off the fingertips of the Rocket, incomplete. Dave McCloughan on the coverage, and the Irish bring on the field goal unit. That was a big defensive stand on 1st and goal for Colorado.
The first two plays were critical. When they stopped no gain, they could almost sense play pass here. You'll see the defensive back in position, really, to make a play. Dave McCloughan could have been there. The ball had to have been thrown much sooner to make any difference.
Here's Craig Hendrick, who missed 2 long tries in the first half. This one is 23 yards, and it is just good. It was hooking left, but from short range, it made it through. So the Irish take the kickoff to start the second half, and Lou Holtz's team builds his lead by 3 more. 10 minutes left in the period. It's now the Irish 9 and the Buffaloes 3.
I thought we were going to the movies.
Hey, I'm ready.
You can't go to the theater dressed like that.
You can if you own it.
Oh, it's the Magnavox Projection TV.
My very own movie theater.
The Magnavox enhanced video system really makes it sharp and clear.
Just like the movies.
And with the JBL system, you can almost feel the Dolby surround sound. Just like the movies. This could be one of the smartest ideas you've ever had.
Yeah. I thought the other one was pretty good, too.
Magnavox. Smart choice. Very smart.
Dale Earnhardt moves to the inside. Now he's diving into the pit. Let's go down to Bob.
Earnhardt's pulling in the pit. I'm going to try to get a word with him. Dale, why are you stopping at the GM dealership?
The fast or free guarantee.
Fast or free?
Yep, my GM dealer does a complete GM oil change and lube in 29 minutes or less, or the next one's free. Whoop, gotta go.
And Earnhardt's back in record time.
Your GM dealer's serious about putting service back in the service department, so try Mr. Goodwrench Quick Lube Plus for a change.
First, microwave popcorn was created. Then others followed. Now, premium microwave popcorn with a real difference. Jiffy Pop, the only one popped in 100% corn oil for great taste.
Delicious.
New Jiffy Pop, a pop ahead of the others.
Great cake.
Maybe for you, but my hemorrhoids are killing me.
Try Sit Again.
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and going.
The 1991 Federal Express Orange Bowl is brought to you by Federal Express. Absolutely, positively the best in the business. By Budweiser, the king of beers. With that clean, crisp, cold taste, nothing beats a Bud. By Magnavox. Smart choices for smart people. Magnavox. Smart. Very smart. And by Plymouth and your local Plymouth dealers, who invite you to test drive a Plymouth today.
This first day of 1991 in South Florida, a magnificent weather day. Plenty of sunshine, temperature in the 80s, and at kickoff time tonight in the 70s as you look down on the historic Orange Bowl, where the Irish have a field goal to add to their touchdown. The extra point was blocked, accounting for the 9-3 score. Charles E. Johnson, not related to Charles S. Johnson, will take over at quarterback. A freshman is the deep man. There's Charles S. Very high and short. McCloughan at the 25. And Dave McCloughan to the 36. So good position for Colorado.
Dave McCloughan on the kickoff return.
There's a little rumbling around on the field between players, Dick, but both teams are really solid young guys with great programs. You don't see the animated posturing around after each tackle's made. These guys are here to play football, and that's why I think they're here to find out who's number one.
So Charles Johnson, it's in his hands for the final 30 minutes.
Unbalanced line to the wide field.
And the handoff to Hemingway. And he has short yardage on the first play. George Williams having a big game, and Devon McDonald on the tackle. There's Williams, who was academically ineligible at Notre Dame last year, and so that long agony of waiting for his chance, and now as a senior, the 6'3", 298-pounder, nicknamed Big Boo.
He's the guy, Dick, that the Colorado coaches had the most respect for on that defensive team. They think he's really, well, he is, really a load. He just pulls down his side of the line of scrimmage.
Johnson again to Hemingway. And he's out about the 40 for a gain of 3 more, so it'll be third down and long. Michael Stonebreaker in on that tackle, number 42.
They've got to be setting up something. They run the same play twice with the unbalanced line. There's got to be a play pass or a reverse or something off of it, because they're just not giving themselves a chance. They're just playing too conservative.
Well, wouldn't you think, though, here's Johnson with all the pressure of the game and coming on now to give him a couple simple plays, no option, just give it to the fullback to get yourself into the contest?
I guess so. Makes sense.
That's Pritchard in motion. And Johnson going to throw. Not a good pass at all to Hemingway, and the Buffaloes will have to punt.
You almost have to say, when you're on the left hash mark in college ball, sprint out to the right and throw the ball. But when you're on the right hash mark going left, it's so tough on that quarterback to run left and throw right-handed. So tough to throw an accurate pass of any kind. And yet they do. Everybody does it.
Ismail waiting for his third chance to return. Ruin, who after muffing the first snap has kicked brilliantly, sends this one end over end and high. Ismail, no fair catch at the 22. To the sidelines and out of bounds at the 35. 13 more yards for the Rocket. Timeout with 8.5 left in the third. The Irish 9-3.
A good car, the Honda Accord, no doubt about it. But this Plymouth Acclaim has more interior room, a larger engine, a longer powertrain warranty. It carries more people, has an airbag, and it costs $1,500 less than Accord. Now, we're not saying that the Accord is second rate, merely second best.
Now get cashback savings with Plymouth's Golden Advantage.
Putting it together.
If you needed to put together a lot of information into a finished document of the highest copy quality, copy on both sides, reduce, enlarge, insert tabs, add covers, and make 12 perfectly bound booklets all in about 10 minutes, then there's only one copier that can do the job. The Xerox 5090, the way to put it together. Faxing, scanning, copying, printing. Xerox, the document company.
Thursday, it's an all-new season of fun on the best night of television. Cosby's back.
That's the fellow I'm in love with.
And it's all new. Then it's Blossom, the new comedy where anything can happen.
Hi, Mom.
Felicia Rashad guest stars on a special Blossom premiere. And it's an all-new Cheers and the new year with...
a bunch of deadbeats and freeloaders.
Yeah, you don't want people like that in here.
And the bar is welcoming new neighbors.
Cheers to Wings.
The hit comedy Wings moves to its new night, Thursday, after Cosby, Blossom, and Cheers, only on NBC.
Lottery. Gatto Distributors.
8 minutes, 33 seconds left in the third period. The Irish leading the Buffaloes 9-3. Notre Dame starts from its 35 after the 12-yard punt return by Rocket Ismail. And the give to Waters right up the middle, and he gains, fumbles the ball. A scramble at the 40.
There is a fumble on the play.
And we'll wait for the official announcement. Which way? Colorado says they've got it. They do. It appeared to be Paul Rose, 46, who recovered.
coming around the block of the tight end, and the ball just bounces to him. It's out now, and it comes right over the ball. Goes underneath everybody to make the stop. That's really an effort. Colorado has to do something right.
5-yard gain on the play.
40-yard line. They've got field position. They have to get in there at least for 3 points. If they can't get it here, it looks just like last year's game being repeated.
Credit Chad Brown, 34, with a tackle that dislodged the ball, and Brown has been the defensive star for Colorado tonight. First down at the Irish 40-yard line. The second turnover for Colorado.
Well, look for something. This is the same formation as those off-tackle plays. Look for something else.
It's Bieniemy. Not much there at all. A couple of yards, and they've run on first down.
Yeah, it's 14. There are 15 first downs, Dick. 14 have been runs by Colorado. And you can do that, I think, in the Big 8 and with some of the opposition. But Notre Dame's just too sophisticated to think you're going to dominate them in that fashion. That time they went unbalanced to the wide field and then ran back to the short side.
86, Rico Smith coming in as you see Simmons go out. But Smith, Jr., a JC transfer from Cerritos College, may be the fastest man on the team. They feel he can get deep if anyone can.
10.35 in 100 meters 3 different times in his life.
They go down the middle and wide open at the tight end. Sean Brown, first down at the 22.
Well, there was the play pass we talked about. We knew it would come sooner or later. Unbalanced line, fake the run, and then throw it back. So they set it up with those run fakes. Faking the same thing. Now the tight end slipping right down the seam.
And well thrown to Brown.
Now Brown's a prospect in many ways. This guy has got the size. He's the best blocking tight end Colorado's maybe had in many, many years.
So from the 22.
Unbalanced line.
Charles Johnson to Bieniemy. To the 20-yard line. And a good defensive surge again by the white jerseyed Irish, led by Chris Zorich and Devon McDonald.
Chris Zorich, the tackler.
You'll see an unbalanced line. They will take the left tackle, Solomon, and move him over to the right side. They simply have a guard and a center on the weak side. You'll see right here, and the extra tackle will be on that side. And what they want is to get the defense to shift over and not really adjust adequately because they're really new to that adjustment system with the unbalanced line and extra man to the wide field. There it is again.
Gary Barnett, the offensive coordinator, his first game in that position. Johnson, complete to Hemingway. And the fullback barrels to the 12, close to a first down. He's got a first down, Colorado.
Chris Zorich stopped him.
Zorich trailing the play, got a piece of him. And did Stonebreaker into Bose, who had trouble getting him to the turf.
Hemingway just loops right out of the backfield. This is something that they haven't been able. This is the first time, Dick, I've seen them do this kind of thing and execute it well enough to get it done. And maybe it's Johnson.
Well, as a man who made a lot of victories happen in that short passing game of yours, you do appreciate the value of a short pass and a run.
Well, it just takes the heat off that Colorado offensive line. They're not going to hammer every play.
And did you use some unbalanced line in the NFL?
We did in the Super Bowl in '81. You want me to go into that litany? I can take 10 or 12 minutes. Dick, there was a time when Billy Ring... Get back to this game.
It is not a first down, as you can see. Third and a couple of links on the chain for Bill Mccartney's team. What's your call here? You know Notre Dame's going to stack it up looking for Bieniemy.
Go over the top with Bieniemy. Over the top. Don't try to dig in there. He can jump over the top and make it.
9-3. Notre Dame leads Colorado. 6:19 left in the third period. Third down and inches. Wide open. John Bowman, the tight end, to the 4.
For a first down at the 5. Greg Davis.
17-yard play. Greg Davis made the tackle.
That's pretty darn good. They faked it. Tight end waited, then came back out to the outside. Everybody bid on the run fake. Everybody. Now that takes a little nerve.
That pass by Johnson was not a thing of artistic praise at all, but it flopped its way into the arms of Bowman, who caught 9 passes during the regular season. First and goal. And they go inside with Hemingway for a couple.
They've got to get 6, obviously, or 7 when it's finally done. And if they go over the top, they can get real close on this next play. Don't do anything fancy. They've got their big play off a play fake, but right now, go right in there and get the score. If you're number 1, you'll get it right up over the top.
Rico Smith a bit late getting to the huddle with the play.
Dick, that first drive, when they threw the ball twice, right on the goal line, they can't do it this time. They've got to get in there with it on the ground.
Smith way out to the left, and Todd Light takes him. There's the play clock. It's Johnson near the goal line. He's to the 1, maybe inside. It was Johnson, as you remember, against Missouri in the infamous 5th down game with a couple of seconds remaining. Johnson barely squeaked in on a play much like that one to give Colorado a very hard-earned 33-31 win, and some would say hard-earned is hardly the proper description of that victory. Inside the 1. This to take the lead. Bieniemy. Touchdown. Bieniemy has scored 17 times on the ground during the course of the year. Converts the fumble recovery as Colorado has tied it at 9. And now Jim Harper will attempt to give Colorado the lead here late in the 3rd period. And 9, the Buffaloes lead with 4:26 remaining in the 3rd.
Brian Campbell, they run right behind that young sophomore guard, and Bieniemy gets his pads down and gets in there and gets it done. Vanderpool, Campbell, Lewinberg got the job done, and that extra point, Dick, remember a year ago, the missed extra point by Colorado knocked them out of the game. This time they get it done.
And it's Lou Holtz's team that has had an extra point missed tonight, and that's the difference in the game as Colorado, ranked number 1, seeking a national title, has a 1-point advantage.
There are a lot of ways to improve your overseas relationships.
Howdy. I know where I'm going. I'm glad the company sent me here to bail you fellas out.
Some work better than others. You know, there's nothing like combining American dynamism and know-how with French, abruti? Abruti. See, abruti. But the best way is simply using the overseas shipping Federal Express. Tomorrow we hit the beach. Absolutely, positively, the best in the business.
Chrysler announces the Golden Advantage. Cash back of $500 or $1,000 on Dodge Caravan and Plymouth Voyager, the gold standard of minivans. $1,000 or $2,500 cash back on Jeep Cherokee, the gold standard of four-wheel drives. And $300 to $3,000 cash back on other Dodge, Chrysler, Plymouth, and Jeep Eagle gold standards. The Golden Advantage. The savings are like the quality. Good as gold. Hurry, savings end soon.
From the producer of The Hunt for Red October, from the best-selling novel by Stephen Kuntz, comes the epic adventure of men who took a stand for what they knew was right.
Get in your airplane, sometimes you don't come back.
Danny Glover.
All we really got is each other.
Willem Dafoe.
We never broke the faith, amigo.
Brad Johnson.
You're gonna live!
Flight of the Intruder, rated PG-13. Starts Friday, January 18th at theaters everywhere.
The Oilers, the Bengals, the AFC wildcard game, Sunday.
Back at the Federal Express Orange Bowl in Miami, Colorado has regained the lead at 10-9. Charles Johnson leading his team after the fumble recovery after Waters of Notre Dame lost the ball. 3 for 3 passing. This was the biggest.
This was the running formation in which they're going to drive right up in here. Now you'll see the fake. But Bowman will hit here and then release wide open in the flat. They set it up earlier in the game. They went right inside with that fake. There's Bowman totally uncovered. well executed, well conceived. Then they took it to them to get the touchdown. They went right in there and got it on the ground. I think Johnson's done a great job. He's played so well every time he's had a chance, and his passing, honestly, is more controlled and more poised than Hagan's. There isn't any question about it.
So Johnson in a reserve role. Isn't it interesting? Last year it was the death of beloved teammate Sal Vanessa that spurred them emotionally through the course of the year as Hagan filled his shoes and still has a picture of Vanessa on his wall. And now it's Hagan that's injured and Johnson takes over with a national title at stake. Rodney Culver lets the ball bounce out of bounds and a 5-yard penalty against Colorado. That gives us a chance to remind you that next Sunday here on NBC Sports, the AFC wildcard game. Coverage will begin at noon Eastern with NFL Live. Messrs. Costas, Simpson, McDonough et al. will take you around the NFL, and then it's game time as the Houston Oilers and the Cincinnati Bengals will go at it, with the winner advancing on to the AFC divisional playoffs against the LA Raiders the following week. That's the AFC wildcard game Sunday, 12:30 Eastern, only on NBC Sports, NFL Live at 12.
That game's got to be as tight as any game in the NFL. Last time Boomer got his team up 40-20.
You like that Cody Carlson, the backup?
I like Cody. I liked him coming out of Baylor. He does all the things Moon does, and with the same poise. So when Warren Moon does step away, I think Carlson will be very, very comparable in that run-and-shoot offense.
They called the teammates number 14 Pat Bluto, but he told me that's only the pronunciation when it gets below freezing in Boulder. It's Bluto.
Well, Colorado's in trouble here. They kicked off out of bounds. Now they move it back 5, and they still have to be confronted with Ismail.
And he comes up to get it at the 26, the 35. To the 43-yard line. Boy, one of the many strengths of Lou Holtz is what his teams do on kick returns. In his 5 years at Notre Dame, he's had no less than 13 touchdowns off punt and kickoff returns. There it is, 8 of them on kickoffs,
17-yard kickoff
punts.
Return for Rocket Ismail.
Jimmy Brown being a factor. Ricky Waters has returned a couple, and of course Ismail with 6 himself
42.
to tie an NCAA record.
So much of that's just the discipline of his team. Their mechanics, their fundamentals, executing these returns much like they do anything else in the game.
The quick pass to Ismail. He is so quick and so tough. As Lou Holtz has said, that he's like a Pekingese barking at a German Shepherd. He doesn't know how small he is, but that's the kind of competitor inside.
It'll be interesting, Dick, the NFL draft. In my opinion, Ismail is not going to be a guy to draft if you're a team that you're building, that you need big, powerful, tough guys to get over the 500 mark. He's the kind of guy that'll make you fully dimensional if you have a very good or great team.
Is he a wide receiver or running back?
Well, you use a combination, but he's not going to make your franchise. He's not going to do that.
The give to Brooks. He may have fumbled, and the scramble, and Colorado says they have it again. The Buffaloes, who converted the fumble by Waters into the lead 10-9, get it again at the 49-yard line.
James, number 17.
Leonard Renfro, a freshman from Detroit, and Tim James, the senior safety, were around the football.
The evolution of the minivan is now complete.
Now get cashback savings with Plymouth's Golden Advantage.
I am holding something green and powerful, and it's going to change your weekend.
What, lawn clippers?
I'm picking you up at 4 o'clock.
So where are you taking me?
Reservation for the Newtons?
Yes, ma'am. What else have you got planned?
The whole weekend.
Only one card gives you the privileges of membership. The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
has changed about the game. Today, the best in the business fly. And the airline that takes over 300 college and pro teams to their chosen field is United. Come fly the friendly skies.
Dear USA, there is a city where marketplaces are full of wonders, where giants play, troubadours entertain, and elves dance. A magical city where the friends you make are friends for life. It's Barcelona. It's in Spain.
Tim James recovered the fumble. A scouting combine at the NFL before the year rated this man as a possible first-round pick, James, and he had a big season, 6 interceptions, a missed handoff by Brooks.
Just a botched handoff. Looks like Mirer goes too far over, and the ball shoots right out of the other side.
And James, the safety man, right up on the line of scrimmage to dig for it and recover for Colorado. They take over at the Irish 49 with a 10-9 lead and 3.5 minutes remaining in the third period. They give to the fullback, and it's Hemingway. Bullying to the 46, Michael Stonebreaker in on another tackle for Notre Dame. Stonebreaker, who knows how to win in high school. The last 3 years in high school in Louisiana, his teams won 3 state championships and went 44-0, and now he's a member of the winningest senior group in Notre Dame history. Great heritage. His dad was a tough linebacker, and what a name for one. Second down, 7.
That guy Zorich is so quick. Jay Lewinberg last year's game did a fine job on him, but this time he explodes around him, just does a beautiful job.
A 2-yard loss on the
Look how quick he is. He just moves right by people. That's Joe Gartney got by, and Joe Gartney, I believe, is a late first-round draft choice. So
two-time All-American.
So Chris is so quick. He's an NFL player as well as being a great college player.
Loss of 2 on the play. Johnson hit from behind, and down he goes as Adrian Jones and Chris Zorich again.
All the sack, Andre Jones. Number 7.
Zorich led the team in tackles for a loss with 12 and sacks with 4. Andre Jones had a big piece of that one, number 7. So after the fumble recovery by Colorado, they're unable to move. Look at him fight through.
I'll tell you, Eric Jones, by the way, may be another Zorich. He's built totally different. But Lou Holtz will someday be a truly great football player.
Mile high, and the Rocket will fair catch at his own 22-yard line. So the Irish survive another turnover. It remains 10-9. Timeout.
Wild thing. It is a wild thing. Come shout and sing, join in the ring. It could be queen or it could be king. You go your way and I'll go mine. As long as you just make it fine.
Good times roll with the clean, fresh taste of Bud Light. It won't fill you up, never let you down.
Wild thing. Wild thing.
Introducing the Plymouth Sundance America. Parents see it as a solid car under $7,700. Teenagers see a powerful engine, power steering, and 5 speeds. Parents see a driver's airbag. Teenagers see lots of room for their friends. Sundance America. Something parents and teenagers can agree on. Plymouth, the American alternative.
To celebrate 30 years of 30-minute delivery, Domino's Pizza delivers the Big 3-0.
The Big 3-0.
Order a large pizza at regular price and get a medium with your favorite topping for just 30 cents more.
The Big 3-0.
A great deal like this won't last forever, so call now and ask for the Big 3-0.
The Big 3-0. It's time for Domino's Pizza Big 3-0.
Dick Enberg with Bill Walsh, O.J. Simpson, Trumpy, and O.J. has a report on Lou Holtz's moves with the offensive backfield.
Well, thank you, Dick. Evidently, Lou Holtz felt his offensive line needed a lift. He ran up to him and he told them, we're going with Pettis, that's Jerome Pettis, and Culver, meaning that Ricky Waters and Tony Brooks, Waters, who's been in the doghouse a number of times in the last 2 years, won't be seeing much action for the rest of this game. The young kid, the freshman, Pettis and Culver will be playing most of the rest of this game.
And Culver and Bettis, O.J., are two men right off the assembly line in Detroit. Culver, a junior, went to DePorres High School in the Motor City, and Bettis, a freshman from McKinsey High in Detroit. They're big and they're fast. 220 for Culver. Bettis, the freshman, is 235.
I really like Culver. He's a 4.4 40. The leading rusher. Nothing wrong with that guy.
Culver, number 5. Bettis, 6. And Mirer comes out even. He's going deep downfield, well covered. And it is intercepted by Greg Thomas, his second of the game.
By number 27, Greg Thomas.
Thomas, who had 2 all season, gets 2 in the Orange Bowl tonight.
He timed it perfectly. He sat over in that weak safety spot and allowed the Rocket to run toward him into the post, then just played the ball. You see Rocket really sprint right past McClellan. McClellan can't stay there, but there's your safety man. That's why he's on the field, just sitting back there playing that ball.
It's the first time all season that Rick Mirer has been intercepted twice in a game. That was served as a punt, however, as Colorado takes over at the 28-yard line with 1:24 left in the third.
I guess they just depended totally on the Rocket's speed to do it, because there wasn't any effort to get the free safety controlled or accounted for.
Boy, uncharacteristic of the Irish. 3 straight possessions of turnover, 2 fumbles, and an interception. Bieniemy. Oh, had he cut left as he was running up his blocker, he had nothing but green grass to the near sideline. Scott Kolkowski makes the tackle.
You'll see the free safety just sitting back in the hole, and Ismail running a post right toward him, and there wasn't anyone to control that weak safety coming down the field. So you see him looking right at Ismail and going right up for the ball.
Tough interception. He had to fight the Rocket for it.
He's a 220-pound guy. He's going to come down with it most often.
Second down, 4, and Bieniemy sprints to the first down at the 42. And that big offensive line of the Buffaloes opening up some holes. Stonebreaker and Clark made the tackle.
Bill McCartney said it's a battle of attrition. They're going at him physically. They're going to wear him down. They've done it to people all year. And just that little touch of Charles Johnson's passing has allowed this team to open up just enough to make these running plays work.
Final seconds of the third period. 10-9 Colorado. First down from the Buffalo 42. Little delay and a give to Hemingway. He's to the 39. Make that the 44 of Notre Dame. Another first down.
That's the first time we've seen them pull a guard and a tackle. Vanderpool pulled, and they got to the outside. Now, if you'll see this action by Campbell, this action through the hole, then the counterplay breaking in, is set up beautifully for that unbalanced line. Beautiful job. Vanderpool right up in, making the block. Very, very well done.
Right away. Thank you.
Called it just the right time. The first time in the game they've used it, and they set it up with that unbalanced line running strong side.
That's a play the Hogs, the Washington Redskins, have used so effectively in their Super Bowl success years. 10-9, number 1 Colorado, and we'll return to Miami after a few words from your local station.
Soundtrack's January clearance sale is a big zero. 0 down, 0 interest, 0 payments till July. So what it all adds up to is absolutely nothing, except huge savings on stereos, TVs, VCRs, car stereos, and more. So if you want to spend nothing, you better do something fast, because this clearance sale is over soon. Soundtrack, big names, little prices.
Welcome to the U.S. West Cellular time trials. To prove that mobile phone service from U.S. West Cellular actually buys you time, we're having 2 identical businessmen race to reach their anxious customer, Gwendolyn, at her desk. And the best time wins. Ready? Set. Go!
Hello, Gwendolyn.
We have a winner. Proof that with U.S. West Cellular, what you're really buying is time.
U.S. West Cellular, making the most of your time.
The Lexus LS400 is equipped with a very sophisticated suspension system, which makes it seem like it's riding on rails, even when it's not.
Taco Bell is 3 times better. 3 new menus are 3 times better. I tell you why. 3 low prices, now everything I like is just $59.79.99. Taco Supreme, not just Supreme, $59.79.99. Run for the bullet of the widow sister, $59.79.99. Taco Bell is 3 times better, $59.79.99.
Watch the News 4 late edition tonight at 10 on Channel 4.
Greg Thomas with 2 interceptions today. Those are his numbers on the season, and 2 interceptions. A good story. Here's a kid from Rolling Hills High School in Rancho Palos Verdes in the Los Angeles area. His dad is a physician. His teams went 1-9 and 1-9. The only way Colorado saw him was looking at him against other players that they were attracted to, and he got a late scholarship, and he's really produced. He wanted to quit, stayed because of Mccartney. Oh, big play. Zorich. Does he ever make All-America play?
Well, they're almost telegraphing that play. Now, Zorich again is going to go right by Leuenberg, right by Campbell in this case, who's a fine blocker. You'll see him come right up the field underneath. Beautiful job of Brian Campbell.
And a loss of 4 for Zorich, who now has 9 tackles, 7 of them solo.
This guy's so quick, he reminds me of Mike Reed, who played for the Bengals in Penn State many, many years ago.
You know,
just super quick.
And Leuenberg said, you know, he rolls up. You see those big arms, and you think at first it's because he's a power player. He's a quick player. He says he's lightning quick off the ball. Look at that. The enemy trapped for another loss. It's DeBose and Stonebreaker, the linebackers, to make the stop.
Well, Joe Garton and Brian Campbell are getting beaten. That's all there is to it. Joe Garton, potentially a first-round draft choice, but that quickness defensively coming up underneath. Now you'll see this, that quick move, and you'll see the movement inside by the linebacker coming right through over the top and making the play. So both linebackers pursued, with Zorich taking the gap.
Well, that DeBose with an athletic leap over the blocker and moved in to make the tackle. Johnson guns it downfield, has a man. It's Pritchard. First down.
Making the catch is Mike Pritchard, number 9.
Has Johnson improved that passing game? What poise. Now, Todd Light must have fallen down. He just wasn't anywhere to be seen, and he's the guy that's supposed to be over there. You see, he just got beat totally.
Rod Smith, they worked against Smith.
And there must have been a rotation to that side. That's all I can figure. You see him looking into the back. Nope, he should have been deep. He's just totally fooled.
You need only 1 foot in college. First down on a 29-yard pass play. Johnson to Pritchard. Hemingway goes to the weak side and gets about 5 on first down before Rod Smith can come up from his corner to make the hit.
Sean Brown blocked beautifully. Campbell pulled and Vanderpool pulled, and the play worked very well. They're collapsing that side of the defense over and over again.
Ranked number 1, looking for a national title, 10-9 early in the 4th period. And it's at the Irish 18-yard line, 2nd down and 6. The enemy, not much there, except Irish white. Stonebreaker spearheading the charge.
They've got to come back with that guard tackle pull counter play. They've worked it twice and is averaging about 8 yards a carry. They can bounce off that weak side. They just got to go back to it.
Adrian Hagan on the sidelines. A rupture of the patellar tendon on the left knee. And sideline for the rest of this game, but he came out with a big smile, indicating that whatever happened in that locker room, there still was plenty of confidence with this Colorado team. They're trying to add to that 10-9 advantage. Pictured in motion on third down. The give to Bieniemy. And it's well read by the Irish. DeVoe stayed at home and made the tackle.
Willie Clark, Dick. Willie Clark blitzes the weak safety right into the hole. Remember, he did that early in the game. They called it again just at the right time. He's really filling a running lane as a weak safety.
So Jim Harper comes on for Mccartney to try to give Colorado a 4-point lead. This one will be 35-plus yards. And there's a problem as Johnson, the quarterback, and the holder goes to the referee. These are Southwest Conference officials. Frank Shepard, the lead man in the white cap, wants a different ball, apparently.
Well, the offensive teams have their choice of ball. So for some reason, they must not have had the right one.
36 yards. Harper was good from 22. George Williams does it for Notre Dame. And the Irish take over at the 20. There's Williams.
The taken block by number 69, George Williams.
So special teams tonight, a major factor. The Irish have an extra point block and now a field goal attempt by Colorado is smacked away by big George Williams. It looked like the kick was very low.
It was a bad snap because the ball went right into Johnson's side, so it wasn't a smooth kick. But Vanderpool was beat right up inside right here, and no one touched Williams. See him come right in between people. So it most likely, I wouldn't want to say directly whose problem, but Brian Campbell, the right guard, went too far inside too quickly.
Timeout, 11:19 to go, and still plenty of doubt.
People love the convenience of fax machines. What most of us don't like are funny paper faxes that curl up and are hard to read. That's why Xerox makes more kinds of plain paper fax machines than anyone else for documents that are easy to read and a pleasure to handle because they're on good old plain paper. Plain paper fax machines from Xerox, the way to put it together.
Putting it together.
Faxing, scanning, copying, printing. Xerox, the document company.
In the past 3 years, Mitsubishi Cars and Trucks have won 31 major awards for automotive excellence. One car has won the same award 3 times. The Mitsubishi Eclipse Turbo, the first sports coupe ever to be named to Car and Driver's 10 Best list 3 years in a row. Mitsubishi, the word is getting around.
Interstate Battery Power starts up strong and keeps on going. To find an Interstate Battery dealer near you,
call 1-800-CRANK-IT. Get the power that goes on and on and on, yeah.
It's at your fitness headquarters, Sears. Our biggest sale of the season on all kinds of exercise equipment. Save $20 to $250 on treadmills, steppers, skiers, cross trainers, cycles. Hurry to Sears National Fitness Sale now.
The 1991 Federal Express Orange Bowl is brought to you by Federal Express. Absolutely, positively the best in the business. By Xerox, the document company. By Nike, who reminds you to just do it. And by Mitsubishi, bringing you a full line of award-winning automobiles. Mitsubishi, the word is getting around.
Beautiful shot from the MetLife blimp. This game is big, and so is the MetLife blimp, one of the world's largest airships, measuring 194 feet long, about 2/3 the length of the football field, 67 feet high, and bringing us those terrific overhead shots. Notre Dame snuffing a chance for Colorado to enlarge in their lead. It remains 10-9, and Mirer takes over at the 20. Rodney Culver. And he gains 5 to the 25. The Irish in the second half trying to self-destruct, but the defense has bailed out the offense.
It reminds you how little statistics mean when you finally get to the last game or the championship game. The Irish offense had only turned the ball over 11 times all season, and now they've done it
3 times in 3 possessions.
3 times in 3 possessions.
2nd and 5 for Mirer. He gets inside Alfred Williams, but there to pick him off is Rick Mirer.
Boy, did Beaker save Alfred Williams. Alfred over-penetrated, went right by the ball, and gave Mirer a chance to run underneath him, but Beaker is quick enough to get over there and make the stop. I think Alfred Williams is going to have to play more physical football if he wants to really continue as a great player in the National Football League. He just doesn't play physical.
Well, he doesn't carry much weight. He's 6'6" and only 232, he told us. He wanted to be 255, just can't seem to put on weight. 3rd and 5 for Notre Dame. 10 minutes to go. Mirer steps up and goes down in the grasp of Paul Rose. So Justin Johnson has taken over for the injured Hagan, the quarterback. Rose for the all-Big 8 outside linebacker. McGee has made some big plays for Colorado.
You know, he's played as well as you'd expect McGee to play. He's played extremely disciplined. That time downfield, Colorado had everyone covered. And that was a rather complicated pattern to try to get Ishmael open. Everyone was covered very, very well.
Hendrick to punt with McClellan, the nation's leading punt returner at the Buffalo 37. What a kick. A cannon shot. Look at this. All the way into the end zone. Oh, my. Here's an untold story. This Hendrick is as good as Notre Dame has ever had as a punter.
A punt of
77 yards, 57 net. That's his career high. He averaged this year nearly 45 yards a punt, but because Notre Dame has such a solid offense, he didn't qualify, didn't have enough punts to rank among the nation's leaders. It's Colorado from the 20 when we come back.
Who's got the marketing plan? I do. Sales forecast?
Right here.
Presentation boards?
Murphy's got them.
Where's Murphy?
This is the final boarding call for Delta Flight 6.
Maddie Klein knows careers are riding on Delta flights.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes. Better go.
Nobody told me you had a cast.
Nobody knew.
Passengers should now be on board.
Maybe that's why more business people fly Delta than ever before.
Mr. Murphy, you have a nice trip.
Thanks. Already had one.
Delta, we love to fly and it shows.
In the past 3 years, Mitsubishi Cars and Trucks have won 31 major awards for automotive excellence. And now, for the 2nd year in a row, a Mitsubishi Galant is Motor Trend's selection as the top buy among all imported sports sedans. Mitsubishi, the word is getting around.
At McDonald's, we're working on something big. Big Mac. Quarter pounder with cheese. McDLT. We put a lot of good into every hamburger. McDonald's. Always good food, always good value.
A new unsolved mystery explores phone calls from the grave. Did she really die under a phony doctor's knife?
Judy Hines is alive.
Then get the story behind the story of Elvis Presley's prom date and the woman who dumped him. Plus, see shocking scenes of a mid-air crash into the Empire State Building. A special 2-hour unsolved mystery. The story behind the story on NBC Wednesday.
Welcome back to the Orange Bowl with 9:07 left. There's the Colorado partnership of Hagan and Johnson. The relief man 4 for 5, Trump.
Yeah, interesting, gentlemen. I just talked to Jerry Hagan. I asked him how the kid's doing. He said, great, because our game plan was to run check with knees at the line of scrimmage on every single play. So Bill Walsh, this Johnson kid has done a sensational job in the second half.
Well, he's a bright guy, and he's played well every time he's had a chance. And he's brought this team back into the winning picture here with his passing.
And he comes out throwing on first down. Dumps it off to Bieniemy on the sidelines. Well done, and Bieniemy picks up nearly 20 yards.
This guy's got amazing poise for not playing that much, but he's got a natural instinct for timing and throwing the ball. It's very, very well done. To be honest with you, Hagan would not have done that. He would not have done that.
Yeah, he really played with the one Notre Dame defender, didn't he?
Well, you see him fake the run, come back out to the outside, but watch the natural move to his left, and he has a choice to make. This is all on Montana. Very well done.
Andre Jones, he let him come in to make the hit and just hit a little lollipop pass, almost a little basketball shot to Bieniemy. On first down, Bieniemy, and the senior is about 3. Don Grimm, the younger brother of Russ Grimm, the 4-time Pro Bowler of the Redskins, made the stop, number 36.
A year ago, Colorado was running the option play about every other down. This year, they're concentrating on running inside, using those big guards and center, both tackles, big active guys to control the ball. But again, they're going to have to come back with a guard tackle counter play, because that's the one thing that seems to be breaking open.
Each team with a touchdown and a field goal, but Ronnie Bradford of Colorado blocked the extra point try of the Irish, and that's the difference in the game. Bieniemy points, pick off the blocks, and he's strong as he carries men with him to the 40, to the 50, and a first down.
Brian Campbell blocked down on Zorich and eliminated him from the play, and meanwhile Notre Dame blitzed. And when you blitz and the running play breaks the line of scrimmage, there just isn't any pursuit. Now you watch this block right here, makes a difference. But also people are blitzing on the backside and don't pursue to make the tackle. Very, very well done. And Hemingway again doing a great job on Stonebreaker.
Scott Kolkowski came off holding a shoulder. And is replaced by Devon McDonald. First down at the Irish 49. Bieniemy again. Fumbles! And the Irish recover at the 46. And a penalty flag goes down against Colorado. Willie Clark recovered.
It appears that number 32,
Michael Stonebreaker made the hit.
Bieniemy near the 45-yard line.
And Bieniemy, who fumbled 11 times during the course of the year. He has small hands, big legs, and a short forearm. Bill Mccartney says that's part of the problem. He just can't cradle that ball in there the way a lot of men can. And they say against Notre Dame, the penalty, the initial signal we saw was Colorado.
He may have signaled the wrong way. The players seem to act that way. Bieniemy just at the wrong time. Gosh, so much hanging on it, and the ball just flew out of there. I don't think there was contact that destroyed the ball.
Personal foul on the white. That ball foul. Personal foul on the black.
Close possession, so it'll remain in Notre Dame's possession as Bieniemy is hit by Stonebreaker, who led the Irish with 3 forced fumbles this year. Watch 42. Yep, he gets his helmet in there and knocks it free. And the youngster, Willie Clark, recovers.
The ball was just sort of shredded out.
Coloro's first turnover. They did have a muff by the kicker, Ruin, early in the game on a punt.
At its own 46-yard line.
And there's the skirmish that led to the double foul. Ricky Waters and Tony Brooks, the seniors, are back in at the midpoint of the fourth quarter. Mirer. Is it good? No, out of bounds.
Mirer's pass incomplete.
Dave McClellan on the coverage of Ismail. So one of the many psychological moves by Lou Holtz, telling his youngsters, you're going to play, you seniors sit down, and letting them sit for a while, and then figuring now's the time with the game in the balance to give the experience the opportunity to win it for Notre Dame.
And Waters can break and make the big play, where the other guys were physical and strong. Waters makes people miss.
Mirer on the option. Good run by the quarterback, and he's near a first down. Just shy of the 45. Tim James made the tackle, and a flag is down.
A flag is down.
A rare penalty.
Mirer wants to pitch that ball out. That's been his history all year because he has the great speed outside.
It's against the Irish for clipping, a big one. Lou Holtz now getting the message, won't like the word.
On the halfback, still second down.
See where they mark it from the 50-yard line back, make it the 45 of Colorado. So from the spot where the play ended, the 15 yards, to the Irish 40, where it'll be second down and 16.
At some point, there's going to be a reverse play in this ball game, and it's going to go. We had one in the first half, but at some point they're going to come back with it. Everybody's working so hard, pursuing so hard.
Ishmael to the right. Mirer. Hit. Throws. Incomplete. Rocket. A tough chance. It was Joel Steed, number 93, who was wrapped around the Irish quarterback.
It'll be third and 16 at the 40.
Well, look for the screen pass at this point. I think that's the kind of thing they'll go with. Mirer just isn't getting the ball downfield accurately at all. Part of it's a pass rush, but the timing just isn't there for either club. So the screen pass with some outside running got a chance.
Thus far in the second half, the Rocket has been held in check by Colorado.
He's changing the play.
Down to 3 seconds on the play clock. He gets it off in time. Good job of scrambling from Mirer. Now he pulls up and throws deep. Incomplete to Ray Griggs. No flag. Dwayne Davis, the extra defensive back, in on the play for Colorado.
Pass intended for Ray Griggs.
Mirer could really have caused trouble, even if he'd run with that ball, because he got outside the contain. The Denver people, Howe didn't know where he was. He lost track of it.
For Colorado.
That was well played downfield by Davis. Timed well. It could have really cost him had he been there early.
Hendrick's last punt near an Orange Bowl record held by Ike Pickle of Mississippi State in 1937. He hit one for 82. Big roll, I understand. Had a big roll.
Did you research that, or was that at your fingertips?
Dr. Stats, Elliot Kelp. No pressure.
What a punt.
Does he have a leg? Mile high, and McLuhan at the 16 with a fair catch.
Number 12, McLuhan.
Number 1 ranked Colorado has the ball, and 6:28 to kill.
In the past 3 years, Mitsubishi Cars and Trucks have won 31 major awards for automotive excellence. One car has won the same award 3 times. The Mitsubishi Eclipse Turbo, the first sports coupe ever to be named to Car and Driver's 10 Best list 3 years in a row. Mitsubishi, the word is getting around.
Once, there were a few proud men of adventure, men of courage, men who knew the meaning of honor. There still are the Marines. We're looking for a few good men.
Hard to believe, but that was me, Dan Dierdorf, before I lost 40 pounds in 4 months with Ultra Slim Fast. Hey, I'm a big eater, but with Ultra Slim Fast, I never felt hungry. The plan is easy. I had a delicious shake for breakfast, another for lunch, and then a sensible dinner. I'm back to my college playing weight, and I feel terrific. Best of all, I'm not shaped like one of these anymore.
Ultra Slim Fast. Give us a week. We'll take off the weight.
The Oilers. The Bengals. The AFC wildcard game. Sunday.
Colorado leads 10-9, and here's a very big play in the game. Ronnie Bradford, extra point.
Unblocked. Blocks an extra point. Rare to see. Just his speed and quickness, and they had a plan because he really came after it.
That was after the Irish had scored in the second period on a 2-yard run by Ricky Waters. 10-9 in Bradford's play could be the difference in a possible national championship, but there's 6.5 minutes to go, and Colorado goes to work from their own 16-yard line with backup quarterback Charles Johnson under center. Bieniemy fumbled on his last carry. Good yardage to the 23. Andre Jones with the tackle.
He's stopped by Andre
Bill
Jones.
McCartney preached to his team, related to us over and over, in the fourth quarter, they're going to dominate physically. Of course, Lou Holtz said the same thing. But this is where Colorado can demonstrate their number one, right here, dominating the line of scrimmage. Obviously, they haven't scored that much. But if they physically can do it and show the poise they can do it, they've got to be the number one team.
Colorado now with the longest current winning streak in college football among major schools, 9 in a row after Texas also with 9 going into today. Beaten handily by Miami, and also Texas and Colorado tied with 9. Bieniemy breaking a tackle and fights for a first down at the 32. Willie Clark finally made the tackle after George Williams couldn't bring him down.
Williams penetrated and forced Bieniemy to change direction, but still everyone else was blocked well enough for him to get away with it. You'll see him right here coming to the inside and really unblocked. Right underneath everything, there to make the big play of the game. Stonebreaker over pursues, and Bieniemy now demonstrating his strength and durability.
5 minutes and 20 seconds left. First down, Colorado. Bieniemy rushed for 100 yards in every game but one, and he's 99 in that one. Oh, look at this handoff to Hemingway. All the way to the Irish 49.
They took advantage of Zorich. Zorich went to wide field on that slant that we talked about earlier, where the entire Notre Dame team slants to wide field. Hemingway broke behind him with the unbalanced line. Very well done. You'll see this action, and then you'll see the break right in behind it. Very, very well done.
Hemingway with 74 yards in this game, complimenting Bieniemy's 79. A good 1-2 punch for Colorado.
And he went right up the field, Dick. He just took it straight down the field. Didn't get smart with it. Just went right down the field. Great job by Vanderpool. He not only took his man, but he scraped off on a linebacker.
Bieniemy now. 2 or 3. George Williams another tackle. You mentioned Vanderpool, number 72, the right tackle. He's from considerable heritage. His great uncle is the famed Cornelius Dutch Warmerdam, the first man to pole vault 15 feet back in 1940. Still watching tonight up in Fresno. He used the bamboo pole. And Vanderpool from a dairy farm in Southern California, and Chino's dad said, "What are you going out for football for? You're never going to make a living there. You just stay here and raise the Holsteins." Well, at 6'8" and 300, he had quite a future in the NFL. Here's the reverse.
There's that reverse.
45, 40, and Stonebreaker losing the helmet as he makes the tackle, but it's another Colorado first down.
G.D. Pritchard used good judgment getting underneath the contain man. He came back to and he was going to be cut off, and he did a beautiful job of coming underneath. You'll see the ball pitched out like an option play, but the reverse man, Pritchard's coming the other way. And watch the contain. And there's Vanderpool again doing a fine job of just walling out the contain man.
And the clock continues to run. 3:50, 3:49 as you see Zorich battling away. Some good blocking by Hemingway.
Now it's so critical to hold on to the ball. I'd give that ball to Hemingway every down. Take the time off the clock.
Hemingway gets the call. Look at him playing for extra yardage, a gain of nearly 6. This drive, starting at the Colorado 16-yard line, has now consumed 3 full minutes.
Well, this is what McCartney talked about, and it looks like a prophecy in a sense. They have that much confidence, but again, any kind of a turnover. And Vanderpool and Solomon, 2 fine big tackles. Solomon has come on after having been a defensive player to start as a senior, maybe as high as a second-round draft choice. Vanderpool, Joe Garton, All-American, Campbell and Lewinberg. Very, very well done.
Stacked up by Kolakowski, who's back in the game at the 30. That'll be 1.5 yards shy of a first down, and the Irish will spend a timeout. Stops the clock, not yet now, at 2:44. So when we return, 3rd and a short 2 for Colorado at the Irish 30.
When you rent from Hertz in Florida, you get more than a great car at a great rate. The real bargain is the company behind the car. Because whatever it takes to make your vacation go smoothly, Hertz is there to make it happen. From emergency road service that's as close as a phone to free unlimited mileage, wherever you roam. Next time you're in Florida, wouldn't you feel better with Hertz behind you?
Hertz, we're America's wheels.
Over a lifetime, the average American will be involved in 5 automobile accidents. But accidents don't necessarily mean injuries. A TRW airbag can help protect you in a head-on collision. Used with a seatbelt, an airbag gives you a better chance of walking away. TRW.
Today, a guy losing his hair can choose between being the man he wants to be.
We look great with hair. Do something to save it.
And the man he could become.
Can't you accept nature like everyone else?
Doctors have hair loss treatment programs that are proven to work. And the sooner you see a doctor, the better.
We don't want nature. We want hair.
When you've considered the arguments.
We might look great bald.
And you decide you want hair. There's only one thing to do. See your doctor. Or call this number for more information.
2 minutes and 44 seconds remain. Colorado 10, Notre Dame 9. Gary Barnett has made his decision on 3rd and 1.5 inside the Irish 30-yard line.
I'm sure they had a short yardage play ready. I think that counter play that they've run before just twice would be the thing to call. You know this, Notre Dame is going to be bringing everybody. They're not going to concern themselves with a pass at this point.
Bieniemy. He's got the first down. And with that, the clock can run unless the Irish stop it. It's stopped for the first down, and a big first down it is for Bieniemy.
George Hemingway has redeemed himself. He really has. A year ago, losing him might have cost them the game. But now his blocking has been so concrete. He's been taking those excellent linebackers out of there, leading the play right here up inside. And he does a fine job of going right in there. And look at that great block on DeVos. Beautiful job.
And Bieniemy following to the 27-yard line. Clock running, 2:22, 2:21. Will Colorado win? And if they do, will they be #1 in the nation? Georgia Tech fans say they should be. Oh, look at the jam up there as Willie Clark again on that safety blitz ran right into the hole, and Hemingway is stuffed, and timeout the Irish with 2:11 remaining.
By number 32, Willie Clark, blitzing safety.
Just hold on to the ball. Just hold on to the ball and take as much time off that clock. Force Notre Dame to try to do it in 1 or 2 plays. Then you have to watch out for Rocket. But don't lose the ball here.
Yeah, all the excitement of this finale of the collegiate football season, and now it's the NFL as NBC Sports turns to the wild card game next Sunday at 12 Eastern. NFL Live with Bob Costas and OJ. Will McDonough take you in and around the NFL. Then you'll see Houston battle the Cincinnati Bengals at Riverfront Stadium. The winner advancing on to the AFC divisional playoffs against the Raiders in Los Angeles the following week. AFC wild card game, 12 o'clock on NBC Sports this coming Sunday. Well, for a football fan, whether you're for Colorado or for Notre Dame, this has been a delightful way to start this 1991 year. Notre Dame, one of the top teams in the nation again this year, challenging the #1 ranked team, Colorado. 10-9 for the Buffaloes, and this next couple of plays may well decide a national championship. The Irish, right from game 1, remember, against the University of Michigan, have shown they can win in the final minute. Rick Mirer is a sophomore, a talented passer. 2nd down, 13. And Johnson's going to throw, and he eats it at the 40. A strange call.
A strange call. A strange call.
Zorich makes the play along with Greg Davis, the safety man.
Leading the tackle.
if they punt, they can get the Irish down in close. That's the only thing you can say for this.
Zorich getting up slowly, and he's okay. But another big play by the All-American from Chicago, Chris Zorich. Timeout, 1:55 to go.
In the past 3 years, Mitsubishi Cars and Trucks have won 31 major awards for automotive excellence. And now, for the second year in a row, a Mitsubishi Galant is Motor Trend's selection as the top buy among all imported sports sedans. Mitsubishi, the word is getting around.
I was afraid to go to the doctor. I didn't want to hear that I might have an ulcer, but I just couldn't ignore my stomach. You can imagine how relieved I was when my doctor said Mylanta. He told me it wasn't an ulcer. It was indigestion. And indigestion like mine needed a strong medicine.
Mylanta is strong medicine, strongly recommended. In fact, Mylanta is the antacid doctors recommend most.
My doctor said Mylanta.
Hey, Jenny, come show your granddad how to set this VCR thing.
Okay. You put the TV channel to match the station you want to record. Press store.
There are some things you just can't explain with a lot of fancy talk.
Cursor until the required days explain. Got it? Program in the desired honor.
At the Prudential, our agents believe your life insurance policy is one of them. So when it comes to your piece of the rock, we won't let you get it until you've got it.
Last couple of plays for offensive coordinator Gary Barnett backfiring, and Colorado probably moved out of field goal range now. They're at the Irish just inside the 40-yard line. 3rd down and 23.
I'm sure they'll run with the ball and take time off that clock.
The Irish would no, they're going to pass, and Johnson has to eat it again. George Williams with a sack. He and Zorich have tormented Colorado all night.
I believe, Dick, it was a quarterback draw. It looked as though Johnson stopped and wanted to run, but Notre Dame was just coming up the field too hard. They had too many people coming. And you'll see Johnson see the blocking there. He wants to come forward. And Leuenberg was going up the field to block, so he was downfield. It was a quarterback draw.
Irish will put 10 men on the line of scrimmage and go after Tom Ruin, who will let the clock run down. 14 on the play clock. 11-10. He'll chew up as much as he can. The game clock down to 1:13. And they might even take the 5-yard delay a game. Apparently that's going to be the case. And there's the whistle and the flag. So 1 minute 5 seconds separate the Colorado Buffaloes from their national championship dream. And the Irish, with the Rocket, Ismail, standing back waiting for the punt with no timeouts for Lou Holtz, will have to go to the arm of Rick Mirer.
I'm sure Rowan will kick out of bounds. He'll punt out of bounds. He has to.
First priority is to get the kick away. The Irish will send 10 men. And then they back off. Well done. The Rocket at the 10. And he's corralled for a moment. Breaks into the clear. One man to beat, and he won't get him. The Rocket, Ismail, has done it again. Touchdown, Notre Dame.
I see a flag, Dick. I see a flag.
There is a flag down at the Notre Dame 37, so hold on. Sensational individual effort by Raghib, the Rocket. Ismail, 91 yards, but will it count?
On the field.
He is absolutely a brilliant, brilliant athlete. But it won't count.
He had one chance, and he did it.
And he'll have 35 seconds, and that's all. So that play consumed a lot of time.
The punt was 44 yards.
And Lou Holtz is saying that much time ran off before you stopped the clock?
By penalty.
So Mirer and the Irish will start well back in their own end. Let's see if we can pick up the clip. 21-yard line is where they put the ball down.
26 coming to the inside. Well, he did make a difference. It was contact. The helmet behind the body, so it was contact, no question about it.
Had he not touched the Colorado player, unlikely he would have gotten the rocket. And they will put more time back on the clock. Too much ran off. It'll be 43 seconds. Again, the Irish are shackled. No timeouts for Mirer, and now instead of a celebration of an incredible touchdown run by the Rocket Ismail, they'll have to start from the 21. Boy, when he gets in the open, well, as Lou Holt said, I don't know how fast he is. In fact, I didn't realize how fast the Rocket was till I saw him playing tennis by himself. The Irish start at the 21. Loose defense for Colorado, as you might expect. Mirer will head for the sidelines. 7 seconds consumed, 36 left.
They had a play that time where the Rocket was going to wait and delay and then come in over the middle, and Colorado just picked it up beautifully.
But Jerry Rice play, try to get him in front of all that deep defense.
Right,
and let him run
everybody downfield, then hope he can run with it again.
It'll be 2nd and 9 at 23.
Gain of a yard for Mirer.
Please remain in the spectator areas following completion of the ball game tonight.
Triple left again with the Rocket, the middleman.
Well, here he comes again.
Mirer in the crowd can't get it off accurately as he's hit from behind by Alfred Williams.
Again, they're trying a play where the ball would be completed 4 or 5 yards deep, then hoping for a big run. Colorado is a little vulnerable down the field. Now you see both receivers coming down underneath. And it just took too long. That's all there is to it.
30 seconds left. 3rd and 9. Bill Mccartney, a protege of the great former Michigan coach Bo Schembechler, still borrows many of the techniques he learned underneath a famed Wolverine coach.
Colorado is playing with 2 deep safeties. You'd like to think they play with 3.
Mirer down the middle. Oh, my, what a hit on Tony Smith from Chad Brown.
Broken up by number 34, Darnell Brooks. Correction, Chad Brown.
Look at this collision course with Smith. Game effort by Smith, and now the Irish down to 1 down, 4th and 9 and 24 seconds. It appears that McLuhan is shadowing the Rocket. That's to the tight end, Derek Brown. He can't get out of bounds. He gets a first down. That'll stop the clock at the 38-yard line with 16 seconds. The Irish have to be quick to get to the ball when it's marked so that they don't waste a second. And Lou Holtz wants him to down the ball immediately.
Gain on the pass to Brown.
Referee has not. Now he winds it up. And 13 seconds. Time for 2, maybe 3 plays for Mirer.
13 seconds remaining.
This is where the clock stopping on first downs really makes the collegiate game
really
exciting.
And the referee, or excuse me, the umpire waited till everyone was set before he stepped away. So you've got every advantage at the end of the game. Right now, there are 2 deep safeties for Colorado, and they're not especially fast guys. So you'd think that Notre Dame would put everyone, flood them downfield with only 2 people back there. Somebody's going to be open in the seam.
Mirer sends the Rocket to the bottom of your screen. Intercepted by Colorado beyond Figures. And Figures runs out the clock. And the Figures may be number 1 for Colorado.
Figures. And that closes the ball game. Colorado 10, Notre Dame 9. Congratulations to the Colorado Buffaloes.
defeated Notre Dame 10-9. Indeed, they did get a second chance, and they have made a first impression.
Charles Johnson, what a job coming off that bench, not getting the practice time that Hagan got by any stretch, and the poise he showed, the poise he demonstrated, the character of this ball club.
We'll get the comments of Mccartney, but first a final look as Mirer picked off for the third time. He was never intercepted more than once all year. A fine play by Dion Figures, and the sophomore not only intercepting but alertly running out the clock and not taking any chances. There was a penalty flag after the game was over, and Bob Trumpy has the winning coach, Bill McCartney.
Bill, you wanted to wear down Notre Dame in the fourth quarter. You did to win the national championship.
Well, that's the way I feel, and I think you got to give a lot of credit to our defense holding that team to 9 points, because that team is very prolific. And then, of course, we were lucky there. They clipped on Rocket's run back, but you got to give our kids a lot of credit. We've come back all year, and we feel great right now.
Thanks. Congratulations again.
Thanks,
Dick.
And you know that in Rocky Mountain country, the cry is reverberating. We're number one. Here now is the big play on Rocket's run back. Here is a clip right there. A trip as much as it was a clip. And from that angle, it's hard to tell if the Colorado player could have made the tackle on the Rocket. But it is a play that nullifies a brilliant, a spectacular attempt by Ismael to give Notre Dame another remarkable win. Most valuable players in the Federal Express Orange Bowl this year. For Notre Dame, the All-America Chris Orich, and off the bench for the injured Darian Hagan, it's Colorado's Charles Johnson, who completed 5 for 6. For all of us at NBC Sports, thank you for being with us. Happy New Year. Oh my, is it happy in Colorado? The Buffaloes 10, the Irish 9.